Hokage. Naruto, I have god-level selection system and unified the ninja world. Chapter 1. Naruto looked at the familiar and unfamiliar world in front of him and fell into shock. Did he cross over? Then a wave of memories flooded into his mind. One name after another kept appearing in his consciousness. Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi, Jiraiya. Then there was the meager ninjutsu that I had learned at a ninja school. Finally, there are those plots of the original Naruto's energy and the hardships in life. When he came back to his senses once, he finally knew what he was facing. The fourth round of the Chu Shinobi exam. Naruto glanced at the huge examination room. The unknown fire Genma in front of him was leaning on the battle table in his hand. Naruto's heart was excited and excited. After all, he is a Naruto fan, and he has also become the protagonist Naruto Uzumaki. You must know that in his previous life, when he looked at Hokage, he had always been unhappy with some of Naruto's practices. Now he finally had the opportunity to change all that is Naruto. The wives in the Hokage, if he could, he didn't want to limit himself to a harem in Hinata. As for sleeping Koharu, Sarutobi and Tuanzo, these three old foxes, he also had to find them to settle well. Not to mention the lack of virtue that the regiment did behind its back. The 3 generations of Hokage alone made Naruto unpopular. If he hadn't seen the whole episode, he really wouldn't have known that Naruto, as the son of the 4th generation of Hokage, couldn't even guarantee food and clothing. The legacy left by the 4 generations of Hokage was actually occupied by the ape flying sun. He also ran to Naruto to give hundreds of taels of silver, wanting to brush his favorability in this way and brainwash Naruto. I really don't know how such a person became the Hokage of Konoha, and he also became the Hokage grandpa that everyone loves. This account, Naruto has always remembered, but Sarutobi is about to receive the box lunch. Naruto could only shift his target to Danzo and Koharu's head. At this moment, I don't know that Hoganma suddenly said in a loud voice, the 2 sides of the first match are, Naruto Uzumaki vs Hinata Ninja. Quote. Hearing this voice, Naruto reacted that he was going to be the first to take the exam. The opponent is still Hinata Ninja, who is known as Konoha's first genius. When he read the original book at that time, Naruto felt that the fight here was very dangerous, and in the end, it was only a narrow victory. Now it's my turn, more or less bottomless. Who knew that at this time, a mechanical voice appeared in his mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully activating the God-level selection system. Quote. Ding! Congratulations to the host for getting the starter pack, do you want to turn it on? Quote. Naruto's eyes lit up when he heard the system package. It's you who is waiting. Without saying a word, he directly chose to open. Ding! Successfully opened the system gift package. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the 3-color domineering perfect level control. Quote. Naruto almost jumped up in place with excitement. You know, the tricolor domineering is the overlord color domineering, the weapon color domineering and the sight color domineering. Overlord color domineering is a necessary ability for all overlords. And the weapon color domineering can assist you in fighting. What excites Naruto the most is to see and smell domineering, and after perfect control, the domineering can not only listen to everything but even predict the future. With this ability, then he will be invincible. At this moment, Hinata Ninja's voice suddenly reached Naruto's ears. I advise you to abstain early, a crane tail like you is not worthy of being compared with a genius like me. Who is he talking to? Me? Naruto was a little confused, and suddenly remembered that Hinata Ninja's vanity as a genius had always made him disdain to be with Naruto. So before the Chunin exam, he had been persuading Naruto to abstain from the 2nd grade. Ding! Host-facing selection detected. Quote. Option 1. Abstain from the match and admit defeat to Hinata Ninja. Mission reward. Earn the title of most instigating traverser. Option 2. Rise to the challenge and defeat Hinata Ninja. Mission reward. Breathe together. As a traverser, and a crosser with a gold finger in his hand, how can he admit it? Option 2. Naruto did not hesitate in the slightest and immediately made a choice. Then he looked at Hinata Ninja. I'm going to prove one thing to you next. Ninja was unmoved by Naruto's reaction. In his eyes, Naruto was nothing more than an ant on his own growth path. As long as he moved his hand, he could defeat it. So he just glanced at Naruto. "Oh, what are you going to prove to me? Isn't it a crane tail yourself?" Quote. Naruto shook his head. "What I'm going to prove to you is the gap between the two of us." The corners of Ningxi's rare mouth moved, and he wanted to laugh out loud. But he still forcibly suppressed his smile. In his eyes, Naruto was just trying to prove that he was not the tail of the crane, and the gap between them was not as big as he thought. He didn't know that Naruto wanted him to see the truth, who was the protagonist. Saying that, Naruto ticked his finger at Neji. Then said lightly, "You strike first, I'm afraid that if I make a move, you won't have a chance to strike." Quote. Then a majestic momentum suddenly unfolded. That is the breath of a superior unique to the overlord color domineering. Coupled with his expression of giving up his own, it gives people the feeling that the emperor has returned to the world. Naruto's actions left the entire arena stunned. You must know that he used to be just nonsensical and middle too. And now Naruto seems to have changed his momentum. The sense of oppression brought about by that overlord domineering color made Neji and ignorant Hyaoshuin in the arena a little breathless. What kind of aura is this? Chakra. Quote. Then he didn't know that Hoganma actually took a few steps back and shook his head. He keenly judged that this momentum was actually brought by Naruto himself. What's the matter? How can this little devil have such an aura? And the 3 generations of Hokage Ape Flying Sun Chopper frowned even more. When did Naruto master such a powerful aura? Could it be the 9 tails? This momentum reminded Sarutobi of Uchiha in his heyday, which was a cold and powerful existence. Even now, when Sarutobi recalled the beginning, he felt that he only deserved to look up to each other. The big snake pill mouth sitting next to the ape flying sun chop slowly hooked up behind the cloak. It seems that I looked away. Nine-tailed boy, you really surprised me. And Hinata Ninja, who was directly opposite Naruto, was already shocked by Naruto's momentum and couldn't breathe. He could only use the chakra of his whole body to resist the smell. What's going on? Isn't this guy a crane tail? How did he do it? Could it be that his previous performances were all acting? Quote. Ninja's breathing became rapid, and he didn't allow himself to be timid in front of Naruto. Abominable, you crane tail, still stubbornly resisted. Quote. Ningxi immediately opened a posture. Gossip 64 palms. Ninja roared angrily, as if he were a Saint Seiya, and rushed towards Naruto. Naruto sneered, as an original party, although he had not learned the 64 chapters of gossip. But with his domineering appearance, he had already predicted all of Ningxi's moves. One palm. Ninja Gong turned to Naruto's face. Naruto just tilted his head slightly. Ninja's palm brushed Naruto's cheek and fell into the air. 2 palms. Ninja shook a shot, then attacked Naruto's lower plate. Naruto just slowly turned sideways and dodged the blow. 4 palms. 8 palms. 16 palms. Quote. Until the 64th palm, Naruto just stayed where he was, not moving. And Ningxi had already slapped a full 64 palms. He didn't even touch the corners of Naruto's clothes. Abominable, why can he dodge so many attacks from me? Quote. Ningxi roared in his heart. And Hinata's father, who was sitting in the audience, Hinata was already trembling in shock. How so? How did this 9-tailed imp do it? Quote. Hinata was a little suspicious when she saw her father's performance. She had been worried about Naruto just now. Seeing that Ninja's every blow almost hit Naruto, she really pinched a sweat for Naruto. But why was his father so excited? That 9-tailed boy is not simple. What's wrong, Dad? Hinata hurriedly asked. His dodge just now seemed thrilling, but it was actually just right. All of Ningxi's attacks were within his calculations, and it seemed that we all underestimated him. Quote. Hearing his father's words, Hinata exhaled. It seemed that Naruto would not lose so easily. As for the ape flying sun, his eyes were full of shock. As Hokage, his eyes are even more vicious. Has Naruto actually grown to this point? When did he grow up? Is it because of the appearance of Jiraiya? Quote. Sarutobi Hinata couldn't find the reason why Naruto suddenly became stronger, and could only attribute everything to Jiraiya. At this time, seeing this scene every day, he shouted at Ningxi very anxiously, Ningxi. What are you doing? Don't hurry up and solve this crane tail. Stop playing. Quote. Play. Ningxi felt bitter in his heart. because only he knew how much Naruto had shocked him just now. All of his attacks were predicted by Naruto one step in advance, Naruto's playful eyes and strategic expression. It makes him feel like a prey to be toyed with. Do you only play cat and mouse like this? Ning-Si began to change his strategy and probationary the method of radicalization. If you hide and hide like this, when will you be able to divide the victory and defeat, and fight with me in an upright manner? Neji firmly believed that as long as his attack could hit Naruto's body and seal the opponent's acupuncture path, then he would be invincible. Naruto sneered. It's almost time, it's time to fix you. Saying that, his eyes changed. Multiple shadow doppelganger technique. Naruto immediately sealed and used the only ninjutsu he could handle. Bang bang. With several consecutive angry sounds, dozens of Naruto appeared in the field. Then he rushed straight towards Ning-Ki. Seeing this scene, Ning-Si did not dodge, but showed a smile and sneered. Secretly said in his heart, the crane tail is indeed the crane tail, and a simple agitation method will hurt enough. Quote, the next step is to find his true body. Saying that he no longer hesitated, in the face of the group attack of the shadow doppelganger, Ning-Si decisively made his trick. Go back to heaven. Saying that, he pulled out a strange fist and foot, with the axis foot as the center of the circle, and the body began to turn. And chakra follows the trajectory of his hands to form an absolute defense system around his body. All the attacks of the shadow doppelgangers were taken, and at the same time the bullets flew out. This is, go back to heaven. Quote, Hinata Hiyashi stood up directly in the audience, knowing that now Neji is just a child, and he has already learned the ultimate meaning of the Hyuga clan. He even learned to return to the sky. It seems that Naruto has no chance. Sarutobi Hinata no longer had hope for Naruto. I hope this child will continue to work hard in the future, and will not affect himself because of this loss. And Hinata clasped her hands, no longer daring to look at the next battle. It was difficult for her to imagine how Naruto would parry the powerful ninja brother next. Bang bang. Several popping sounds of the incognito doppelganger sounded in the field. And Naruto's body finally appeared in front of Neji. Got you. Neji slapped his palm towards Naruto's face, and Naruto dodged with his head tilted. Then he punched Neji's abdomen, and Neji backhanded 2 fingers at Naruto's tiger mouth. This time your arm can't run chakra. But Naruto's hand still hit his lower abdomen. Without chakra, there is no intention in such an attack. Before he finished speaking, he felt a huge force knocking him out. Wow. He spat out a mouthful of blood. How could it be? At this moment, he saw that Naruto had transformed into an arm like gold and iron. Pitch black as ink. How so? He should have been pointed by me. Ning-Si felt that his worldview was about to collapse. Naruto snorted lightly coldly. The weapon color domineering is something that a gua sha massage palm technique like you can resist. And before his attack was over, Naruto grabbed Ninji's wrist and grabbed Neji, who was still flying upside down. One kick flew in the air, and then once again used the shadow doppelganger. In order not to let his whole cards leak too much, he decided that he still needed to disguise. Naruto burst. The 4 Naruto jumped into the air at the same time and gave Neji the final blow, and the other party fell to the ground and could not get up again. The audience was silent. Naruto landed on the ground and said bored to Genma, hey, Proctor, did I win? Quote. Unknowingly, Huoshwanma quickly wiped the cold sweat on his forehead. Ah, yes, the winner of the first game, Naruto Uzumaki. Quote. As the closest person who felt Naruto's battle, Genma couldn't even figure out how Neji lost. That powerful Huishin was actually consumed by Naruto using the shadow doppelganger. Then he went straight to the end of the fight, and it all came too quickly. Wow, it took a few breaths before everyone reacted. Really fake, that 9-tailed kid actually won. Just kidding, I didn't even react to what happened. Oh my god, Ning-Si actually lost. Tiantian looked at Neji, who had lost consciousness in the field. She couldn't figure out how Neji, as a genius, would be defeated so easily by Naruto. How is this possible? Tenten covered his small mouth and looked in Naruto's direction. And Mat K was already in tears. Ning-Ki, although you lose, you must burn yourself in your youth, don't fall down. Quote. Naruto turned to leave, and Ning-Si was carried away by medical staff. At the same time, Hinata stood up and said to Hinata, I'll go see Neji. Quote. With that, he left alone. Hinata also wanted to follow, but felt that her father did not want her to follow, so she stayed where she was. Soon, Hiashi saw Ninji in the infirmary. Ningxi looked at the ceiling with a blank expression, he just lost. Until now he could not accept this fact. Ningxi, there is one thing I want to let you know. Ningji turned his head and looked at Hinata. Is it a grudge between the Zong family and the separation of the family? I have known this for a long time. Quote. No, you don't know. Saying that, Hiashi told what happened between him and Ninji's father. Ningxi, who heard the truth, was shocked. Is it really my own fault? Naruto knew everything that was happening here. Next, Ningxi will become his wife's faithful bodyguard, and of course he is happy to see it. It's just that the real reason he wants to leave is because of the system rewards. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the defeat of Ninji's character. Get rewarded. Concentrate your breath, loading for you. After a moment, Naruto felt his body further strengthened. If he said that he was domineering, he could hear everything around him clearly. Then fully focused breathing gives him control over every cell in his body. He can feel that he can easily control his muscles using fully focused breathing, thereby displacing his internal organs. They even control their blood vessels to turn on and off so that they can stop bleeding as soon as possible after injury. The most important thing is that he finds that the strength of his body is infinite, and he can keep exploring as long as he wants. This ability is really suitable for today's self. The next match is Kankuro vs Shino the Oil Girl. As in the original book, Kankuro chose to abandon the competition because of his own task, and Shino the Oil Girl directly advanced. The third game starts directly. The two sides of the battle are Kankuro's sister, Temari. He leapt into the field with the iconic big fan in his hand. And his comparison Nara Shikamaru rubbed his forehead, and said a little listlessly, it's really troublesome against women. Quote. Naruto is actually very curious about this match. After all, in the original book, Shikamaru used the hole he dug to gain an advantage. But in the end, he chose to give up the game. Then now that he did not fight in the original way, the trap that Shikamaru designed in advance was useless. Naruto really wanted to see how Shikamaru dealt with Temari's wind blade. Who knew that at this moment, Naruto felt a heart palpitation. Then he quickly found a corner where no one was and began to close his eyes. And his consciousness has entered the sealed space of the Nine-Tails. As in the original book, all Naruto can see now is two malicious eyes in the darkness. He sneered, 9 llamas, do you still treat me like a child? After saying these words, the entire space was illuminated by a beam of light, and the Nine-Tails slowly poked their heads out from the darkness. Little ghost, how did you know my name? Naruto did not answer the Nine-Tails question, but looked at the Nine-Tails with interest. I was just about to come to you, but I didn't expect you to send it yourself. Touch. The Nine-Tails slammed forward. As the strongest existence among the tailed beasts, it could be described as imposing as a rainbow. Boy, are you provoking me? Quote. But Naruto didn't have the slightest fear. Just looked at the Nine-Tails who opened their teeth and danced their claws faintly. Then the momentum on his body changed abruptly, and overlord-colored domineering mercury gushed out from Naruto's body. Even the Nine-Tails trained his back with this momentum and retreated one after another. 9 llamas, I advise you not to talk to me in such a tone. The two of us are in a compatible relationship, and you need my presence to protect your own safety. Otherwise, if I die, you will also be in ashes, and now there is a group of people who are collecting you tailed beasts everywhere in order to resurrect the 10 tails. You said what would happen if I handed you over. Naruto's tone was cold, as if he was looking at a disobedient plaything. At this time, the Nine-Tails felt that if she continued to upset him, then Naruto would immediately abandon him. Boy, you're intimidating me. No, I don't have time to idle with you. Leaving me, you have only one way to die, and without you, I have 10,000 ways to live, so what do you think is your meaning to me? The Nine-Tails fell into deep thought. He called Naruto in this time precisely because he saw Naruto's potential. In the battle just now, the unprecedented overlord color domineering almost made the Nine-Tails submit to Naruto's feet. At this time, Naruto walked towards the cage sealed by the Nine-Tails step by step. 9 llamas, if you obediently listen to me, I can assure you that one day, you will see the light of day again. If you always want to be opportunistic, then Naruto's words were not finished, but the icy semantics had already entered the heart of the Nine-Tails along with the overlord-colored domineering. The Nine-Tails couldn't help but fight a cold war, and he was actually a little afraid of the child in front of him. Boy, believe it or not, I killed you. Quote. However, his Tsunade personality did not allow him to have a proud head underneath, and he once again pounced on Naruto but was still blocked by the cell door. Naruto looked at the sealed charm. A playful smile appeared. Now is not the opportunity to let you out, there is nothing to do, don't call me. Saying that, Naruto's mind directly withdrew from the consciousness space of the Nine-Tails. This time the communication with the Nine-Tails seemed simple. But Naruto knew that he had planted a seed for the Nine-Tails. That is, if you surrender to yourself, you can see the message of heaven again. The next step is to subdue the Nine-Tails. If he can subdue the Nine-Tails in advance, then Tuanzang and the Big Snake Pill really don't have to be afraid. At this moment, an exclamation came out. It turned out that Sasuke used Ratchet to directly break through the absolute defense of Arrow. Have I been in consciousness space for so long? Celebrities were surprised. He felt like he hadn't been gone for long, but Shikamaru's fight with Temari was over. The battle between Sasuke and Aira has entered a white-hot stage. Then the next thing is. As soon as Naruto muttered, he felt a slow and dull feeling hit him. It's an illusion. Naruto immediately activated his fully concentrated breathing and overlord-colored domineering. Resisted this sleepiness, and the ordinary people around him and the low-strength shinobi fell one after another. At the same time, a large amount of forbearance fell from the sky. The wind shadow sitting next to the ape flying sun chop suddenly burst out and held the ape flying sun chop hostage with a bitter woo. My beloved teacher, I haven't seen you for a long time. Then the two suddenly disappeared in place, and were already on the roof of the examination room when they appeared. Who should I be? It turns out to be my unfilial apprentice. Ape Flying Sun said with some self-deprecation. Orochimaru gave the 4 people on the side a look. The 4 immediately fenced off the entire roof. 4 purple yan array. Saying that, the 4 of them sealed at the same time, forming a 4-way large array. Trapped the Great Snake Pill and the Ape Flying Sun inside. 4 purple yan array, it seems that you have given me an excellent environment to eliminate harm for Konoha. Sarutobi said jokes that weren't funny at all, while Orochimaru just showed an evil smile. Teacher, I came this time to launch a political ban, kill you, and then take everything from you. Orochimaru had already killed Kazekage before he came, so he had the strength to become a shadow-level ninja. Ape Flying Sun's originally light and breezy expression suddenly became solemn. Want to be Hokage? You don't have that qualification yet. Quote. When he said this, Ape Fairy's heart was very uncomfortable. Because Orochimaru was his most proud disciple, if Orochimaru hadn't defected back then he would really have become Hokage. It's just that the Great Snake Pill doesn't yet have the will of fire. Thinking of this, Ape Flying Sun cut to the chase and said to the Big Snake Pill, you unfilial disciple, you want to become a Hokage, see if you have the ability. Quote. Saying that, Ape Flying Sun cut off his hands and sealed it, and directly used the fire escape fireball technique. The two went on the offensive. And Naruto in the examination room was keenly aware of the aftermath of the battle on the roof. Have you started? Then he saw Kankuro and Temari fleeing the examination room for the Chunin exam with Aira, who had passed out unconscious. Sasuke, on the other hand, chased after him without mercy. At this time, 3 forgiving ninjas descended from the sky. With Kumu in his hand, he stabbed towards Naruto. There is even a sober imp here, solve him. Naruto had long been aware of the existence of the 3, and to be precise, the movements and intentions of everyone in the entire examination room were under his perception. This is the domineering of sight. Be careful. Kakashi suddenly appeared in a flash, drawing a shuriken from his leggings to block Naruto's face, just about to throw his shuriken to force the opponent back. Who knew that Naruto's movements were faster, and Naruto directly used the shadow doppelganger technique. With the help of seeing the domineering color, the figure dodged the attacks of the 3 ninjas like a ghost. Then one person solves the other with one punch. Kakashi was a little distracted when he saw this scene. Of course, he paid attention to Naruto's performance recently, but Naruto's speed of progress was too fast. It has completely exceeded his expectations. What was that just now? Physical surgery. Quote. Kakashi recognized at a glance that the fighting method Naruto used was not any kind of ninjutsu. It's just that this kind of physical technique is too weird, and every time you can predict the opponent's attack trajectory before the opponent acts. It can be said that Naruto can play this game of hide and seek with anyone as long as he wants, and he has been invincible from the beginning. Moreover, when Naruto hits the opponent's body, he can also feel that Naruto's attack power is very strong. These people in front of him are at least not a ninja, but Naruto can still defeat the enemy with one move. This proves that Naruto is far from as simple as he appears. Naruto, this is handed over to me, you immediately go after Sasuke now and help him stop Miero. Kakashi's voice just fell. A mechanical voice appeared in Naruto's mind. Ding. The Discovery host faces a choice. Option 1. Reject Kakashi, kill all sides here, and complete the 100-person slash. Mission reward. 100 people slashed title. Option 2. Promise Kakashi and successfully defeat San no Morizaru. Mission reward. Drunken fist. Naruto twitched the corners of his mouth. 100 people cut the title. Do you shoot videos on digital platforms? Besides, even if you shoot a video, is it enough to cut 100 people? Then you must choose 2. After making his choice, Naruto immediately nodded to Kakashi and said, yes, Kakashi-sensei. Quote. Saying that, Naruto glanced at the direction where Sarutobi and Orochimaru were fighting, revealed a smile, and said goodbye to the 3 generations of Hokage-sama. Then a flash disappeared. Kakashi looked at Naruto's departing back and stretched out his hand. You wait, call a few companions to go with you. How can you deal with those 3 brothers alone? Quote. But at this moment, Naruto was gone. Kakashi had no choice but to use the method of sealing to help the other Konoha Xiaoqiang solve the illusion. And by this time, Naruto had caught up with Sasuke. Sasuke hadn't seen Naruto and Neji fight, and thought Naruto was the vulnerable crane tail. Nerd, how did you catch up? You are not their opponent. Naruto knew that Sasuke was concerned about himself, so he didn't get angry, but just replied casually, Urzu, you still worry about yourself. Quote. 2. Who do you say is the second pillar? Quote. Naruto subconsciously stuck out his tongue and accidentally said Sasuke's nickname in his previous life. But it doesn't matter, after all. You were originally the second pillar. Something felt wrong with Sasuke's music. How could Naruto's speed be so fast today that he could keep up with himself? Unbeknownst to him, Naruto had slowed down. With the help of fully concentrated breathing, Naruto has a very strong control over his body. You can maximize your speed. Just to take care of him, have been walking here. At this moment, 3 figures suddenly appeared in front of them. It was Kankuro who carried my Ira on his back, and Temari who held the wind blade. They caught up. Temari stopped immediately. Kankuro, you take me Ira and leave quickly, you can't let my Ira fall into Konoha's hands. Kankuro nodded. Take care. After saying that, Kankuro carried my Luo on his back and disappeared in a flash. And Sasuke and Naruto looked at Temari and didn't care about it. Don't you all want to get any closer? Temari opened her wind blade big fan and looked at the 2 heroically. Just as Naruto was about to hand Temari to Sasuke, the sound of the system sounded again. Ding. Congratulations to the host, get the side quest, defeat Temari. Quote. Mission reward, unlock the bloodline of the Vortex clan. Whether the host accepts the task. Hearing the system's words, Naruto was a little unsure. The bloodline of this Vortex clan is not an ordinary thing, it is the ability that is on a par with the wood attribute chakra of the Thousand Hands clan. Not only does it have a strong recovery ability for itself, but it also has the innate suppression of the tailed beast, and the strongest sealing technique in the entire Hokage world. Since this was the case, Naruto immediately accepted the task, and then said to Sasuke, Sasuke, you hurry up and chase Miero, leave it to me here, don't let him run away. Quote. Naruto wasn't worried about being defeated by Sasuke after Ira was caught up. After all, he has seen this plot in the original book, and Sasuke was directly beaten by Mai Luo after catching up with Mai Luo's doubtful life. In the end, he was also shown an operation by the original owner in the face, and directly doubted life. Indirectly led to Sasuke's blackening. Sasuke was a little surprised when he heard Naruto's suggestion, because Naruto usually liked to be in the limelight in the class. Now that he gave up the opportunity to pursue Iroh to himself, it was not like Naruto could do it. In the end, Sasuke could only attribute everything to Naruto's growth. Sasuke nodded and said, "You have to catch up with me quickly, don't be left behind." Quote. Saying that, he took a little from Temari and went to chase Maeluo. Temari originally wanted to stop Sasuke, but Naruto stopped the action with a kunai. "Abominable, since you don't know how to lift, then I will solve you here now." Quote. Naruto looked at Temari and grinned, thinking to himself, "My bloodline is coming." Saying that, his full momentum unfolded, and he drowned Temari like an ocean. Although Temari is strong, it does not have the resistance of Neji. When Naruto unfolded his overlord-colored domineering, Temari was almost stunned by Naruto's momentum. Fortunately, Ailuo sometimes erupts into a terrible chakra so that she knows how to deal with it. So she quickly pushed back to keep her distance from Naruto, and then opened her iron fan and waved it like an iron fan princess. Wind escape. Scythe. Quote. After saying that, he waved heavily, and then under the blessing of the iron fan, several vacuum air currents were created by Temari. Swept directly towards Naruto. Naruto did not panic at all when he saw this scene, and he had already predicted the opponent's attack path when he saw that he was domineering. Although the attack route of the wind escape was messy and dense, with the help of concentrated breathing, Naruto actually passed through the crack of the scythe's attack. Look at Temari's scalp numbness. What's going on? How could this guy escape the scythe's attack unscathed? Quote. You must know that the wind is invisible and intangible. Usually use this trick, the other party can only be passively beaten in addition to finding cover to avoid the attack. Now Naruto actually dodged in a strange posture. This is really refreshing his three views. Naruto didn't give her time to be shocked, and immediately used the shadow doppelganger technique to create a large number of doppelgangers. Seeing this, Temari waved the iron fan again. Wind escape. Big scythe. Quote. Since your scythe's attack won't work for you, give her a try at the ninjutsu scythe, which she's proud of. Although this one seems simple, it has already put a huge physical burden on Temari. The wind blades of the vacuum between them were created by Temari, which were denser in number, more powerful, and had a wider attack range. Rolled directly towards Naruto's shadow doppelganger. Naruto's shadow doppelganger burst apart one after another after being attacked. And Naruto's real body had been fanned out by her, and he fell to the ground covered in scales. Temari gave a sneer. Sure enough, in the face of absolute strength, any trick is useless. But as soon as he finished saying this, there was a sound of turning on the ground. Then Naruto broke through the ground, and the kunai in his hand had already pierced her throat. What? Temari almost exclaimed in surprise. She never expected Naruto to come out from under the ground. Only then did she understand that the original shadow avatar technique was just his trick. Am I going to die like this? Temari's eyes became hazy, looking at Naruto's approaching Kumu, knowing that he was powerless to return to the sky. Who knew that Naruto's suffering stopped in front of her throat? Everything is a misunderstanding, first wronged you. After saying that, Naruto also slapped Temari's face, and then struck him with a hand knife on the head to knock him unconscious. In the distance, Naruto's shadow doppelganger burst open, revealing a cave in the ground. Although Naruto has a system, he is not stupid. His current tricolor domineering and fully concentrated breathing, except for the weapon color domineering, there is no substantial offensive means. At this time, it is simply looking for death to collide with such a wide open and closed wind as Temari. Therefore, he decisively chose the method used to deal with Neji in the original book to deal with Temari. It's just that with fully focused breathing, Naruto is more handy when using this tactic. Immediately after defeating Temari, the sound of the system sounds. Ding! Congratulations to the host for defeating Temari and completing the side quest. Quote. Get rewards and unlock the Vortex bloodline. With those words, Naruto felt a mysterious power appear in his body, and he felt that the chakra he had consumed during the battle just now recovered at a terrifying speed. And his perception of his surroundings deepened further. This is different from seeing and hearing domineering, which can foresee the movements of everything around you, listen to all the words of others, and even discover the malice of others. The perceptual attribute of the Vortex family is to detect changes in energy such as chakra. With the blessing of these two abilities, Naruto's control of the information around him has reached an unimaginable bottom. I don't know how powerful the Vortex clan's sealing technique is, it seems that I need to find an unlucky egg to try. Saying that, Naruto placed Temari in a relatively safe and hidden position, and then dodged away to chase Sasuke. The battle between Sasuke and Aira has come to the bottom of the white heat. Sasuke has already used 2 Chidori, and Aira's body, a Moritsuru that has revealed an arm and tail. He looked at Sasuke with a hideous face. "You're exhausted, I'm going to kill you." In his isolated state, Sasuke couldn't even support the spell seal. However, the strong character is not in order, and he does it. "I don't want to fall here, I still want to seek revenge on that man." The shadow of his brother, Uchiha Itachi, appeared in his mind. So he sealed it again. Sasuke forcibly condensed chakra, intending to use Chidori in one go and give Aira a fatal blow. But in the face of the truth, everything Sasuke did was so naive. His body fell directly because he did not value the burden. It could have escaped with the few chakras left. But now he could only lie on a tree trunk and watch my Airo's big paws approach him. Just as soon as it was about to happen, a figure suddenly appeared, and he flew my Irati out with one kick. It was Naruto. Naruto didn't look back, just said playfully, "Urzuzi, you seem to be very embarrassed." Quote. "Abominable, you guy." Quote. Sasuke was angry when Naruto said, and then he thought of something, and quickly said to Naruto, "Naruto, leave quickly, this guy is not something you can deal with, you must let the teacher come over." Quote. Sasuke and Aira's hand and form have fought and know how strong Airo is. And in his cognition, even if Naruto gives his full strength, it may not be able to hurt my love in the slightest. Naruto smiled lightly. "Urzuzi, just lie there and watch me perform." After speaking, Naruto's face sank, and he roared lowly, "Weapon color." Quote. Then he disappeared in place with a swoosh, swung his fist and rushed straight towards Airo. In the process, the multi-shadow avatar technique was used again, and Ailuo saw this scene and waved his big claws to smash one shadow avatar after another. But Naruto's body descended directly and punched Airo in the face. "Stupid. An attack like yours is useless." Quote. Ailuo itself has absolute defense, and after the words of Shohei, Ailuo's attack and defense have been strengthened at both ends. Airo sneered. "One after another come to find death, then I will fulfill you." He roared, directly ignoring Naruto's attack, and grabbed Naruto with one claw. Naruto didn't dodge either, as if he wanted to fight with my arrow. Ailuo sneered in his heart, he has absolute defense, so he is not afraid of Naruto's attack. What's more, even if he was punched by Naruto, his grab could kill Naruto. The sand around my Ailuo vibrated and formed a barrier directly in front of me. But Naruto's seemingly ordinary punch directly pierced the barrier of absolute defense, and Ailuo was directly knocked out by Naruto. The whole face was deformed. What? If Sasuke hadn't exhausted himself, he would have exclaimed by now. Just then, Sakura also arrived. In the original book, Sakura was directly subdued by arrow after arriving, and now Sakura has survived this because of Naruto's early arrival. She came around the battlefield a little overwhelmed and watched as Naruto knocked arrow away with a blow and Sasuke lay on a tree trunk in the distance. After thinking about it, he still came to Sasuke's side. "Sasuke-kun, are you hurt?" Sakura asked with concern. "I'll take you back to Teacher Zhao now." Saying that, he was about to pick up Sasuke and leave. Sasuke struggled to break free of Sakura and said, "Wait a minute, Naruto is still fighting." Quote. "But your body can't help anymore," Sakura reminded worriedly. Sasuke didn't answer Sakura's words, of course he knew he couldn't help, but Naruto today was too strange. Whether it was the style or strength of the dealing, it made Sasuke feel strange and terrible. Sand no Moritsuru had been knocked away by Naruto and crashed into a large tree. Airo got up from the trunk and roared, "Ah! You are so abominable that you make me bleed. I want you to die." Quote. Blood oozed from the corners of my Airo's mouth, staining the sand on his face. "It looks eerie," He slowly closed his eyes, and then both arms and one leg were wrapped in sand, turning into the appearance of a monster. Seeing such a scene, Naruto shook his head. Fake sleep technique. I advise you to release Sand no Morizuru directly, otherwise you are really not my opponent now. Quote. Now Luo has not completely fallen into a deep sleep, and consciousness still occupies the main body of his body. After hearing Naruto's words, the roots of his teeth itched. Everyone around him from childhood to adulthood was afraid of him, only Naruto was not only not afraid of him at all, but even mocked him like this. In that case, I will let disaster befall you Konoha. Saying that, Ira's body and mind were completely immersed, and he gave his body to Sand no Morizuru. Rumble. A loud muffled sound echoed through the valley. Then the dust flew up. The maniacal laughter of the Sand Morizuru shrouded the entire forest. It's out. It's out. This imp is finally willing to let me out. Let me see who kills first. Quote. Sand Morizuru patted his belly happily. As far as the eye could see, only Naruto, Sakura and Sasuke stood in front of Sand no Morizuru. Just you three imps. It seems that you three have forced me to love Luo very embarrassed, and even asked me to solve it. Quote. I should have thanked you. Without you, I would not have been able to see the light of day again. But I must kill you again, otherwise he will be upset, so I can only give you a pain with mercy. Sand no Morizuru spat out words, saying that killing people was so light and breezy, as if it was a common thing. People who listen have a tingling scalp. Sakura and Sasuke looked at Moritsuru's huge body in disbelief, and from their perspective, they couldn't see the whole of Moritsuru's body. The two who were oppressed by Shuhei's momentum did not dare to move. What the hell is this, summoning beast? It seems that this time it is really less fierce. Quote. Sasuke felt as if he was going to explain. Sakura cried out in fright. It's over, it's really over this time. She didn't know what to do with it anymore, and it would be great if a big hero appeared now and rescued their 7th class. It's just that Naruto glanced at Sand no Morizuru with interest. Then said lightly, it seems that you are indeed not as powerful as the Nine-Tails. Quote. The momentum of the Nine-Tails and the richness of chakra are much higher than those of Sand no Morizuru. Especially in terms of momentum, Sand Morizuru was a little funny in Naruto's eyes. When Sand no Morizuru heard Naruto's words, the corners of his mouth twitched, and then he roared angrily, what are you talking about? Am I inferior to that little fox? You even said that I was inferior to that little fox. Quote. Then I'll let you know now that you know how powerful your grandpa Shuhei is. Saying that, Sand no Morizuru directly raised his big paw and slapped it down heavily, wanting to directly slap Naruto to death. Just Naruto sighed. Hey. Shozuru didn't understand the reason for Naruto's sigh, and saw Naruto slowly seal his fingers together. King Kong blockade. After speaking, a gate of nothingness appeared on Naruto's head. The gate suddenly opened, and there was nothing strange inside, but 4 huge golden chains. Directly pierced the body of Sand no Morizuru. Sand no Morizuru is a tailed beast, although not as powerful as the Nine-Tails. But his ability to sandify his body. But just when Shuhei was planning to break free from the King Kong blockade in this way, he was surprised to find that he couldn't use this ability. What? How could I? Quote. At this time, Sand Morizuru suddenly remembered a scene from 1,000 years ago. That is to face the mysterious and powerful old man yourself. Asura. As the ancestor of the Uzumaki clan, Asuras also possess the same ability. He is the natural nemesis of the tailed beast. How did you know this ninjutsu? Naruto sneered, because my name is Naruto Uzumaki. Quote. After hearing Naruto's answer, Shozuru only felt that Naruto was brushing it, and its violent temper was manic at once. I'm going to kill you. Then it began to struggle violently, and the whole canyon began to shake. Sakura and Sasuke looked at each other when they saw this scene. When did Naruto have such strong ninjutsu? Can you subdue that monster? It's just that this kind of ninjutsu must be very consuming, I don't know how long Naruto can last. Sakura, you hurry up and call the teacher, be sure to call the teacher before Naruto runs out. Sasuke shouted anxiously to Sakura. But you, Sakura struggled a little, she didn't want to leave Sasuke behind. Do you want our 7th class to die here? If you don't do anything until now, you'll waste Naruto's chance to fight for you. Quote. One word surprises the dream man. Sakura nodded and glanced at Naruto to know what she should do. But just as she was about to leave, Naruto froze again. Little toad, you are surprised too early, give me honesty. 4 elephant seal. At the same time, 4 void gates appeared around the crane. Then more chains appeared from inside the door. Completely suppressing the strength of his hand in hand, Shuzuru's struggle gradually became less forceful. Boy, this kind of sealing technique must be very consuming chakra. I see how many chakras you still have for you to consume. Saying that, Moritsuru planned to fight a protracted battle with Naruto to see who could hold out longer. As a result, Naruto once again froze. Gossip seal. The Vortex clan's most powerful sealing technique besides the Ghoul seal. It is also the easiest way to perform. That is, 2 4-image seals can be superimposed. It's just that it takes a lot of chakra to maintain. And the only thing Naruto could get his hands on in the early stages of Naruto was the huge amount of chakra. Otherwise, how could you use such a costly ninjutsu as the Shadow Doppelganger technique? Sand Morozuru faintly felt an interesting and dangerous aura approaching him. Then he felt his chakra being restrained again at a speed visible to the naked eye. The body is also gradually getting smaller. Nope, I don't want it, I came out with great difficulty, I don't want to go back to that little ghost's body. Quote. He roared unwillingly. However, it was no longer helpful, and the body consciousness had begun to separate, and the Sand Morozuru was sealed at one time. It's just that this time is different from the previous sand seal, this time it is the Bagua seal. He will never see the light of day again unless Arrow comes to the consciousness space and tears off the sealed spell. It's just that Naruto left a wisp of divine thought in Mayura's body, spying on Iroh and Sand no Moritsuru. It was like the wisp of divine thought left by the 4th generation of Hokage in the sealed space of the Nine-Tails. On the other hand, while sealing Sand no Moritsuru, Naruto also left a mental eye, and he kept half of Sand Moritsuru's ability in his body. When Juzunai sealed the Nine-Tails, he separated the body and soul of the Nine-Tails, leaving part of it in the body of the celebrity and part in the body of Bofeng Shuaman. It's just that Bofeng Shuaman chose to martyr with the other party in order to save Ju Xingnai. This greatly reduced the ability of the Nine-Tails, otherwise Naruto felt that once he had all the abilities of the Nine-Tails, Naruto really could not find someone who could compete with him. In the sealed space of the Nine-Tails, the always small and cute Sand Guardian Crane appeared, looking around milkily. Where is this? Oh my god, I seem to have lost touch at all. Quote. It is part of Sand Moritsuru's consciousness, although it can sense that its own body is nearby. But contact has been lost. Then it felt a malicious look. Shuhei, no, you are part of Shuzuru's body. Quote. Shuhei hurriedly turned around, and saw a large iron cage appear behind him, and the Nine-Tails slowly walked out from the darkness inside the iron cage. Nine llamas, why are you here? Quote. Is this your sealing space? Then Sand Moritsuru burst into laughter. Ha 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 ha, I said how did you disappear for so many years, it turned out that like me, you were sealed by someone. You reptile, believe it or not, I tore you apart. Sand no Moritsuru was obviously not afraid of the Nine-Tails, and he jumped outside the cage. You come out, I'm here, you're going to hit me. As a result, at this moment, Naruto's figure appeared behind Sand no Moritsuru, and then directly picked him up like a chicken boy. He looked at the Nine-Tails. 9 llamas, this little guy is so small, can he raise it? Quote. Naruto meant to train this little Shozuru into a real Sand no Moritsuru. The Nine-Tails fell into deep thought, and after a moment he shook his head. No, but his presence can bring you closer to the Earth attribute and the Sand attribute chakra, and you can also have the absolute defense of the Sand no Moritsuru. Naruto nodded. With absolute defense, then it was enough. As for the Earth attribute chakra, for Naruto, it was better to talk than nothing. At this time, the voice of the Nine-Tails came again. How did he get sealed here by you? I met Sand no Morozuru and directly sent him a gossip seal like you. Gossip seal. How can you gossip seal? Have you already inherited Juzuna's abilities? Quote. Naruto snapped his fingers. Bingo. Answer correctly and reward you for always being a pet playmate. Quote. Saying that, his mind moved, and he sent Xiao Shuhei directly into the seal. Before, He couldn't control the seal because he hadn't awakened the bloodline of the Uzumaki clan, but now that he has awakened the bloodline of the Uzumaki clan, he can completely put away the seal of Jushingnai freely. Shuhei was still jumping up and down in front of the Nine-Tails just now, and who knew that the next moment it would fall directly into the hands of the other party. Little Shuhei, what did you just say? I didn't hear clearly. Quote. The Nine-Tails stared at Moritsuru maliciously. Shuhei swallowed a mouthful of spit, and then blew the cell door desperately. Let me out, I don't want to stay with this stinky fox. It begged Naruto desperately. Naruto spread his hands and said to the Nine-Tails, Nine Llama, don't play it to death, I keep it useful, otherwise I won't help you unlock the seal. Quote. Saying that, he was about to leave the sealed space. Boy, what do you say? You're going to help me unlock the seal. Quote. The Nine-Tails quickly stopped Naruto. Naruto nodded. Of course, why else would I keep you? Let you watch live in my body. Quote. The Nine-Tails looked into Naruto's eyes and fell into deep thought. This little ghost, from weak and naughty at the beginning, to now powerful and mysterious. I don't know how many secrets are still hidden. However, looking at his eyes, the Nine-Tails could be sure that Naruto was not lying. He nodded, and his body once again melted into the darkness. Boy, I hope you don't break your word. Naruto smiled lightly and left the sealed space. As soon as he returned to reality, he felt a sense of disconnection. Continuously using the Overlord color domineering and gossip seal, even he was a little overwhelmed. He sat weakly on the ground, and in the distance Luo was lying quietly on the ground. He stared at Naruto unwillingly. Why are you stopping me? Quote. Naruto didn't say, I-I-R-O, like in the original book, he just said lightly, because you want to hurt my companion. Quote. Saying that, Naruto stood up, only to stagger and almost slip. At this time, Kakashi flashed and appeared. Directly supported Naruto's body. Kakashi looked at Naruto with concern and asked, are you okay? Quote. I'm fine, it's just that chakra is exhausted and needs to recover for a while. Sakura also carried Sasuke to Kakashi's side at this time and called Kakashi-sensei. You're all doing well, Kakashi affirmed. Several people, Naruto and Sasuke, were unimpressed, only Sakura bowed her head in shame. After all, she didn't do anything. At this time, Kakashi looked at Ira and said, this is a misunderstanding. Orochimaru assassinated 4 generations of Kazekage-sama, and you were all used by him. Quote. Now that Konoha has ruined Otonobu's plan, I hope you will go back and explain the situation to San Shinobu village. Ero was indifferent after hearing Kakashi's words, just chewing Naruto's answer. Partner, he thought of his brother and sister, desperately escorted him away in order to protect himself from being caught, and stayed behind without hesitation to resist the pursuing enemy. At this time, a systematic prompt sound had appeared in Naruto's mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the mission and defeating Sand no Moritsuru. Quote. Get the quest reward, Drunken Fist. Then a picture of practicing appeared in Naruto's mind. It wasn't the Drunken Fist that Xiaoli used in front of Junmaru. It's the Drunken 8 Immortal Fist. Lu Dongbin, Tai Zu Li, Han Shangzi, Zhang Guolao and other Drunken 8 Immortals were integrated by him. The shape is not drunk, the fist is not drunk. Naruto suddenly understood the meaning of the Drunken 8 Immortals. That's a lot more powerful than Lilac and Mat K's. Soon Naruto followed Kakashi back into the village. The village was frightened by the attack of Oto Shinobu. It's just that the purpose of the big snake pill is to seize power, not to destroy the village. So it did not start on ordinary people. It's just that the death of the 3 generations of Hokage has shrouded the entire village in a layer of haze. Naruto was sent back to the Michi home, and after a night of news, Naruto's chakra fully recovered. He tried the power of Shozuru once at home. A flower pot at home quickly lost moisture and became sandy. It's just Naruto's influence drinking and that's all. He fell into deep thought. Could it be because he was born not close to the earth attribute chakra? No, I am guarding the crane again. Then Naruto made several more attempts, and found that with his own experiments, the earth attribute chakra in his body continued to increase, and the power of the Shozuru that could be mobilized increased and increased. Naruto generally understood. It turned out that although there were many chakras in his body, there were too few earth attribute chakras. It seems that it would be good to find the ninjutsu of the earth attribute chakra. It was a rainy day, and everyone in the village wore black dresses to attend the memorial service for the 3 generations of Hokage. The 3 generations of Hokage have always been a kind old man in front of the villagers. Faced with his departure, everyone was saddened. Only Naruto absent-mindedly fell at the back of the memorial procession. It's simple to let you die, and I stole so much of my father's property, so I died cheaply for you. Naruto said in his heart. At this time, a man dressed in a strange ninja costume appeared behind him. Naruto, come with me. Although Naruto saw the dress for the first time, with his knowledge of the original, he recognized it as the clothing of the root ninja at a glance. Old fox, you finally can't wait. Danzo's ultimate goal in his life is to become a Hokage, but the existence of Sarutobi Hinata makes him unable to realize this dream until his death. He followed the root ninja to a secluded thatched hut. No one could have imagined that the gathering point of the root ninja was such an inconspicuous thatched hut. An old man in a cassock and a bandage on his head was sitting in the middle of the supplies. It is Tuanzang. Unlike the ape flying sun, Tuanzang has an air of rejecting people thousands of miles away. He slowly opened his eyes and stared at Naruto with an eagle-like gaze. Introduce yourself. My name is Tuanzang, and I am the leader of the root organization. His tone was cold, like a burning wild dog. Naruto, explain everything you know. Tuanzang's tone was gloomy and cold. If it was an ordinary imp, he might have been directly frightened by him. It's a pity that he is facing Naruto. Explain what? Naruto asked rhetorically without caring. Danzo was stunned for a moment, and then looked at Naruto, and the momentum on his body eased a lot. It's really good, I can still be calm and calm under the momentum of the old man. He paused. Of course, how did you defeat Shozuru? Don't tell me that with that little means to go to you, I can defeat Ichigo Shozuru. Danzo is convinced that Naruto is the most unstable bomb in the village. He guessed that Naruto most likely defeated Moritsuru with the help of the power of the Nine-Tails. Once the Nine-Tails get out of control, it will be devastating to Konoha village. If Naruto's answer was inappropriate, then he would not hesitate to eradicate Naruto's unstable factor. As a result, Naruto shrugged his shoulders and said, you said that Toad, I sealed him directly. Quote. Tuanzang's research that had been half squinting and half opening suddenly widened. Seal. Quote. Danzo looked at Naruto who was doing nothing, and he couldn't believe that Naruto could actually seal Sand no Moritsuru. At this time, Naruto continued. Yes, it is the seal, I feel as if something suddenly appeared in my body during the battle with Sand no Moritsuru. Quote. Then I can use it, and then I will seal the Sand Moritsuru. Tuanzang really couldn't accept it, because such an answer was too unexpected for him. In his mind, Naruto was the Sand Moritsuru who used the Nine-Tails to defeat. But this is very different from Sasuke Sakura's answer. He had wanted to go to bed, and Koharu proposed to hand Naruto over to the root organization. But Koharu didn't agree. This old woman was just as nasty as Sarutobi Hinata. I like to contradict him. What else to say? He had no evidence that Naruto was running away again. In order to prove his words, this is why today's conversation is here. Who knew but got such outrageous news? In this way, it seems that Naruto did not defeat the Sand Moritsuru because of the Nine-Tails, but because of the awakening of the ability of the Uzumaki clan. Thinking of this, Danzo looked at Naruto's gaze even more scorching. You must know that if Naruto only has one Nine-Tail in his body, even if he is violent, the Konoha ninja can defeat it with all their hearts. Just like a dozen years ago. But if Naruto awakened the Uzumaki bloodline while owning the Nine-Tails, it would be somewhat terrifying. Nope, I have to take Naruto into my own hands. Quote. The regiment hides in the heart and belly. Once he gets Naruto, he can not only spy on Naruto, but also cultivate him into Konoha's sharpest killing weapon. Danzo nodded to Naruto. Naruto, you go down first, don't mention the conversation between us to others. Naruto nodded and turned to leave. Naruto did not return to the memorial service, but returned to his home. Danzo's appearance gave Naruto a signal. That's the original, because he's changed. He had to watch out for this old silver coin. At this moment, there was a sudden knock on his door. Naruto got up and went to open the door. Naruto found out with his domineering look that it was Kakashi. Kakashi-sensei, what are you looking for me for? Kakashi wore a black dress. Even with his personality, after the death of the 3 generations of Hokage, he had a solemn expression. I have to say that the existence of Hokage is simply a spiritual totem for Konoha. I see you left halfway through the memorial service, and I'm a little worried about you, so come and take a look. Hearing Kakashi's words, Naruto's heart warmed. Because Kakashi told Naruto in disguise, I was worried about you when you went to see Danzo just now. Naruto smiled. Thank you, Kakashi-sensei. Kakashi's expression lightened a little. Since you're okay, I'm relieved, but this time I came to you, I really have something else to discuss with you. What's going on? I see that your physical fitness has become very good, but the physical skills are very rough, so I found a teacher for you to do special training, do you want to try it? Hearing Kakashi's words, Naruto's eyes lit up. Teacher, special training, it won't be Mr. Matke. Quote. Kakashi nodded. He is the pinnacle of our Konoha physical arts, so I am very relieved to hand you over to him. Naruto also wanted to test his current abilities. After all, he has already got a drunken fist from the system, and he has not yet tried the power. So the next day Naruto and Kakashi went to find Matkai. Far away, I heard Mackay's high-pitched voice. Every day, Ninji, feel the burning youth, we must turn grief and anger into strength. Get trained with me. Quote. Then came Ningqi's voice. Hey, Mr. Kai, my task volume today has been completed. Quote. Then there was a helpless resistance every day. Teacher Kai, although Xiaoli is now hospitalized, you don't need the 2 of us to vent. Quote. What kind of attitude are you? You have to burn, hurry up, no one walks 50 kilometers upside down. Don't. It was at this time that Kakashi and Naruto appeared. Seeing Kakashi's arrival, Kai's eyes suddenly became hot. Kakashi, are you here to fight me? There must be a winner between us. Quote. With that, he pulled out a fist fight. As a result, Kakashi quickly waved his hand. I'll talk about things between us later, I came today to ask you for something. Oh, what's up? Quote. Even if Kai said a rhetorical question, it gave people a sunny feeling. Kakashi pointed at Naruto and said, that's him, I want you to point out his physical skills. Quote. Ninji was a little awkward when he saw Naruto, after all, Naruto was an opponent who defeated him. But it was Naruto who let him know that the genius in his mouth was simply not compared to neither. And Tenten and Naruto are not acquainted. So Naruto took the initiative to step forward and greet the 2. When he learned that Naruto was going to train with Kai-sensei, Tiantian ran to Naruto's side and said in a low voice, Naruto, follow Kai-sensei's special training, he will definitely let you wear that strange clothes, you must be careful. Quote. Naruto seemed to have thought of something, but then Kai's hearty voice came. Ah ha ha, that's exactly what I want, Naruto kid, and I burn your youth, you must put on my secret weapon to practice physical skills. Quote. Saying that, Kai ran away like a gust of wind. But in a few moments, Kai returned with a green tights. Naruto boy, put him on, he can make you more handy when using physical skills. The corners of Naruto's mouth twitched. Dame, I refuse. Quote. Kai didn't understand. Why, this is my secret weapon to become stronger. Quote. Naruto pointed to Ninji and Tenten beside him, why don't they both wear them? Quote. Poof. Both vomited blood at the same time. Who wants to wear such a strange thing, what a shame. So Tenten quickly stood up to help Naruto speak. Kai-sensei, Naruto is not your student, he just came for special training, don't let him wear this dress, your clothes are still left for Xiaoli. Mentioning Xiaoli, the 3 of them fell silent at the same time, and Kai Chang held back tears and said, Xiaoli is already difficult to stand up and burn his youth again. Quote. Every day is also a roll of circles. As a result, Naruto said categorically, don't worry, Xiaoli will be fine, I will find a way to heal him. Quote. Hearing Naruto's words, the 3 looked at him at the same time. I don't know why Naruto said comforting words again, but several people felt that Naruto was not joking, but very confident to speed them, he did have a way. Naruto, are there any ways you can? Kai looked at Naruto excitedly. Naruto nodded. I heard from the Toad Immortal that his former teammate was a very powerful medical ninja, and I plan to invite her back to Konoha to treat Xiao Li's injuries. Hearing Naruto's words, several people were a little excited. Tenten and Neji were unaware of Tsunade's existence. But Kai and Kakashi are very familiar with this name, as Konoha Sanshin, but they have always been the existence they look up to. If it's Tsunade's senior, then it's really possible to treat Xiao Li's injuries. Tiantian grabbed Naruto's hand even more excitedly. Naruto, really, that's really thank you. Quote. Even the cold Neji thanked Naruto. Kai pondered for a moment. Then said to Naruto, Naruto, thank you, in order to thank you, I will burn my youth to train you. Quote. Saying that, he didn't bother to make a training uniform, and directly threw the tights to Kakashi on the side. Naruto, let me see the basics of your physical skills first, so I can judge where you started to practice. Naruto nodded, and several people came to the training ground. Kai pointed a finger deep at Naruto. Naruto is attacking with all his strength now, I'll test your strength. Naruto nodded. Then you have to be careful, Kai-sensei. Saying that, Naruto's hands directly turned into weapon colors. Then go straight to Kai and punch Kai. The speed is good, but it's too unorganized, and this punch doesn't consider my flaws. Kai stretched out a hand in front of him, wanting to grab Naruto's wrist. But the moment he touched Naruto's skin, Kai almost dropped his jaw in shock. The touch brought by the domineering color of the weapon directly vibrated his hand. Helplessly, Kai had to turn over and dodge. Explanation, then Naruto's wrist turned, and it directly turned into a cup. Lu Dongbin was drunk and carried the pot. Naruto directly used the first form of the drunken 8 immortals. Staggering to kneeling to the left shaking cup, and then changing to the virtual step to serve the wine, turning the flowers in both hands. Good move, Kai shouted, praising the subtlety of Naruto's moves. But just when he thought he had dodged Naruto's blow, Naruto raised his knees and poured alcohol independently. Hit him in the throat. All go, Kai almost scolded, this trick is too shady. If you are hit, you don't say whether it will directly break the throat, if you backhand a lock throat, then he met K really planted. He quickly blocked with both hands, no way, the weapon color domineering in Naruto's hand was really something he could not underestimate. However, Naruto did not take his move, but changed hands to the hidden dragon into the sea and changed the position of the attack to the chest. Kai changed hands again to resist, but this time he moved slowly. Naruto knew his chance had come. As soon as the Phoenix Eye hand came out, Kai was directly beaten by Naruto. He stumbled directly and almost fell. Seeing this scene, Tiantian and Ningxi's eyes widened. What the? Naruto actually defeated Kai-sensei. No, it's teacher Kai who didn't exert his full strength. Ningxi cut to the chase and nodded every day. Otherwise, how could Kai be hit by Naruto? I said to myself every day. As a result, Naruto saw that Kai was frustrated and went directly to add an attack. Lu Dongbin's sword finger link. When Kai saw Naruto coming up, he still wanted to take advantage of this opportunity and turn defeat into victory. As long as Naruto opened and closed the attack, he would have a way to find Naruto's flaw. But who knows, Naruto's next attacks are all in his position that is not easy to defend. What a lock throat, an eye, a pulse gate. He couldn't prevent it. These attacks are all about maximizing benefits at the lowest cost. Helplessly, Kai can only change the strategy. Seeing that Naruto had been using his hands to attack, Kai decided to distance himself from him. It seems that this kid is not good at leg work. Thinking of this, he turned over directly, and then kicked Naruto's wrist attack. Then a succession of kicks came in. Seeing this scene, Naruto showed a smile. Kai was puzzled, who knew that Naruto's next move turned out to be, Railizan elbow knee hit drunken Huan Gen. Quote. Then Naruto was short, a simple left and right swing leg, directly attacking Kai's lower plate. Kai was very surprised by the change in Naruto's moves. Hurriedly dodged, but who knew that Naruto was directly lying on the ground and couldn't get up. Several consecutive elbow rotations, all aimed at Kai's lower abdomen. There was a chill between Kai's legs. This kid is too shady too. Kai cursed angrily, and almost opened his 8 doors to fight back. But I am facing a child. How can you use 8 doors? Then Naruto changed his moves again, a back spinning kick and then a series of low leg sweeps. Kai knew that he couldn't cope with it, so he jumped directly into a backflip and jumped out of the battle circle. Although it was only a few rounds, Kai was actually beaten into a cold sweat by Naruto. Naruto, what kind of boxing technique are you? How come I've never seen it before? Even Kakashi looked at Naruto curiously. Naruto said without the slightest hesitation, I created it myself. Quote. Self-created. That's right, every time I pass by an izakaya I often see some drunkards coming out drunk from it, and I like to imitate them walking. Then I realized that walking like this is like boxing, and I created this set of physical skills. Kakashi and Matkai looked at each other. They all saw a shock in each other's eyes. No one could have imagined that Naruto's physical talent was so good. Kei laughed. Very good. Naruto, you are really a genius, your set of punches is very subtle, but the only thing that is wrong is that you don't have group attack skills. Quote. Once you encounter multiple people fighting, you will fall into passivity. Naruto nodded, and had to say that Kai was in one sentence. When watching Drunken Fist in his previous life, Uncle Long used not Drunken Fist every time he faced multiple villains, but Luohan Fist, Hong Fist and free fighting techniques. Only when facing the villain boss at the end, will you use the Drunken Fist to attack. This also illustrates the limitations of drunken boxing. At this time, the voice of Kai continued to come. So Naruto, in the next study, I will know you specially, so that you can maximize your physical skills and help you make up for your shortcomings. And just as Naruto was learning physical arts with Kai, two people dressed in auspicious clouds and wearing pockets swaggered in from the main gate of Konoha village. Is there really nothing wrong? You come in with such swagger, you are not afraid of being discovered. The slightly taller man said grimly. The shorter pigeon walking in front was unmoved. Don't worry, I've cast illusions on them and won't find any trace of us. Chapter 11. The two were walking casually in Konoha village when two people suddenly appeared in front of them. Exactly Asma and Red. The two also took off their cloaks, and it turned out to be Konoha's S-class wanted criminal, Uchiha Itachi and Mizu Shinobu's defective ninja Kanshima Oni. At this time, Naruto glanced sideways into the distance, and he had already discovered the traces of the two from the moment Itachi and Oni entered Konoha. Kai and Kakashi were also attracted by the movement over there, and Kai explained to Tenten and Neji, telling them to stay where Naruto was and not moving, and left directly. But Naruto did not follow the order like the other two, but directly chased after him. Soon the three of them turned into battle. It happened to see Itachi using illusion to control Red and Asma. Let's go, Konoha's flies are coming. The weasel said and was about to turn around, but the ghost mackerel felt that he was still unfulfilled and took a sip. But who knows, at this time Kai and Kakashi arrived. It's coming, what to run? Saying that, the two surrounded the weasel and the ghost mackerel. Naruto looked at this scene and thought in his heart. Sure enough, now the storyline of the Hokage has shifted. If you follow the original storyline, Naruto is now going out with Jiraiya. Then Sasuke went alone to face Itachi, and was caressed by Itachi's love. Then he found Naruto alone, but fortunately he arrived in time, and finally let Naruto survive. And now let his meeting with the weasel advance a long time ago. Who knew that Itachi glanced at Kakashi and Matkai, and then said to the Oni mackerel, quick victory, and then take away the nine-tailed human pillar force. Quote. The ghost mackerel sneered and came to Matkai. Ooh, you look weak. Quote. And Kakashi flashed his blood chakra eyes and looked at Itachi. Your blood chakra eye does not belong to you, so every time you use the blood chakra eye, it will consume a lot of your physical strength. Itachi's words hit Kakashi's weakness. But Kakashi was unmoved. Although this blood chakra eye is not mine, it is enough to deal with you. Hearing Kakashi's words, Itachi narrowed his eyes. Is it enough? Saying that Itachi directly used illusion on Kakashi, Konoha ninja Kiki Gogokai fell directly softly. And the battle between the dry persimmon ghost mackerel and Kai's side has entered a white heat. Both of them are battle maniacs, and it's easy to get on top of a fight. The weasel said lightly, you hurry up and solve it, I will leave with the nine-tailed imp first. Quote. As soon as Itachi finished saying this, a mechanical voice appeared in Naruto's mind. Ding. Discover the choice that the host faces. Quote. Option 1. Grab it and get taken away by the weasel. Result. Pawn. Become the most tragic crosser. Quote. Option 2, fight off the ferrets. Get reward, get a random avatar. Seeing the system prompt, Naruto almost shouted. Scapegoat, is it that stand-in? If he could, he really wanted a platinum star, even if he retreated to get the world of Doye. Naruto was a little excited, and by this time Itachi had already walked towards him. Naruto swallowed a mouthful of spit. The next battle was the most dangerous. Without saying a word, he directly unfolded all his overlord-colored domineering. With this momentum, the ferret frowned. I really didn't expect that you, the nine-tailed little ghost, have such a strong momentum. It doesn't seem to be as unbearable as the legend. Naruto sneered, there are many more things you can't think of. Quote. Saying that, he armed his hands with a weapon-colored domineering, and then rushed directly towards the weasel. Up as a Konoha whirlwind that he just learned from Hokage. Itachi sneered at Naruto's movements. Insect tricks. He was going to grab Naruto's ankles directly and control him. But who knew that the domineering power of the weapon almost overturned him? He was kicked upside down and flew out. You must know that Naruto's weapon color is domineering, but even Hokage can't eat it. There was a wrinkle or not, and the heart cried, yes, this time I will be run away by the nine-tailed imp. Quote. As a result, Naruto did not take the opportunity to escape, but directly attacked head-on. Han Zhang is away from the fall, hugging the top of the heart. Naruto once again used the third form of the drunken fist. Although Itachi is an all-rounder, his physical skills are not weak. But I have seen such an attack there. Coupled with Naruto's short stature now, every blow is attacking his lower set. From time to time, he was also given the hook foot style of the Iron Cane Lee. Unexpectedly, he was directly beaten by Naruto and fell into the downwind. At this time, the battle between Hokage and the ghost mackerel had entered a white heat, and the movement was getting bigger and bigger. Itachi's brows furrowed even tighter, and he flashed to the side of the Oni mackerel, and whispered, the dark ninjas of Konoha are here, let's withdraw first. Quote. Saying that, the two disappeared directly. And Hokage said angrily, don't run, fight me. Quote. And Naruto was also shocked into a cold sweat. You must know that he is not the opponent of the weasel now, and if he really continues, he really doesn't know if he can retreat with his whole body. Just then, the sound of the system came again. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the task. Quote. Get the mission reward, Killer Queen. Naruto was stunned at first, and then a little disappointed. The ability of the Killer Queen is actually quite average, the only strong place is the defeater eating dust. However, the skill of Dust Eater is not useful in the world of Naruto. But talk is better than nothing, there is a doppelganger, and there are more changes in the future against enemies. Hokage and Naruto took Kakashi to the hospital. Kakashi had completely fallen into sluggishness. Wounded by the weasel's illusion, he is trapped in an infinite loop, repeating the same pain over and over again. Both Sasuke and Sakura couldn't believe it when they got the news. Kakashi-sensei is so strong, how could he be hurt like this? Sasuke asked. We met the ferret and a dead fish-eyed guy. Weasel, you mean Uchiha Itachi? Quote. Matt K nodded. That's right, they came to capture Naruto, but Naruto was strong and forced Itachi to retreat. Hokage recalls the fighting. Sasuke shuddered. Weasel, Uchiha Itachi. Quote. He recalled the tragic situation on the day he was exterminated, and resounded the harm that the man had inflicted on himself. Hokage saw Sasuke's current situation and asked, Sasuke boy, are you okay? You are not a match for Itachi now, don't be impulsive. Quote. Sasuke shook his head, and he quickly asked, Itachi, are they here to catch Naruto? Naruto, where is he now? Quote. Hokage thought for a while. Jiraiya just arrived just in time after the battle just now. Naruto should be at Jiraiya, and he should have left the village with Jiraiya for a while. Quote. As soon as he finished saying this, he saw Sasuke escape directly through the window. His eyes were full of killing intent. Recalling Akage's words, Itachi couldn't even figure it out for Naruto now. Then it is really possible to kill the weasel yourself. The more Sasuke thought about it, the more excited he became, thinking about the pleasure of his blade enemy. Thinking about the pain of the Uchiha family. He sped it up. After inquiring about the location of Naruto and Jiraiya, he hurried over. As a result, he met Itachi at the restaurant where the two stayed. Only this time Naruto was not caught here by Itachi as in the original. The reason is simple, Itachi feels that Naruto today may be more difficult to deal with than he thought. And he has the bodyguard Zilaya by his side. Do it within the range of Konoha, and the two will be dragged down. Once surrounded by the dark parts of Konoha, then it's not good that the two of them will really capsize in the gutter. So Itachi once again gave Sasuke the care of his brother. More than just a full body spa on his flesh. It also sent him a good memory on a spiritual level. Quote, the scene of the day of the extermination was repeated in his mind over and over again. Sasuke was a little skeptical of life. Wasn't Itachi repelled by Naruto? Could it be that Naruto's strength was already so strong? Quote, throwing Sasuke aside, Oni said with interest, "Oh, Itachi-senpai, you were really kind to your brother." Quote, Itachi ignored the ghost mackerel's ridicule, and just said to himself, our plans have changed, and we can't do it within the confines of Konoha. Quote, oh, Ghost Mackerel asked rhetorically, when Jiraiya and Naruto leave the range of Konoha, let's start again, otherwise, it will definitely attract the attention of the high level of Konoha. The two discussed the details and left Konoha. Only the two pillars were left with scars. Naruto and Jiraiya walked in the mountains. Naruto, you know what? In fact, you look a lot like the fourth generation of Hokage, and they all have beautiful blonde hair. Quote, Naruto was not as excited as in the original. Instead, he nodded and said, oh, well, there are very few people with golden hair in Konoha, maybe I am still his son. Quote, Jiraiya was also speechless when Naruto said this. He thought, aren't you his son? Quote, it's just that at this time, the top secret in the village can't be said casually. The order personally given by Sarutobi that year. The ranch is simple, that is, to sharpen Naruto with suffering, and then he will transmit the will of fire to Naruto. Train Naruto to become a ninja useful to the village. But who knew that Naruto actually guessed the truth directly? Zilai also thought about it and quickly changed the topic. Naruto, do you want to learn new ninjutsu? I see that you don't seem to know anything except multiple shadow doppelgangers. The voice just fell. Ding. Congratulations to the host for discovering the choice. Quote. Option 1. Refuse to learn spiral pills. Reward. Chakra enhanced. Option 2. Learn the spiral pill. Reward. How to use the Great Jade Spiral Pill. Naruto instantly became excited. You must know that the Big Jade Spiral Pill is a trick of the Wave Feng Shui Gate. The power is comparable to a small-tailed beast jade. Thinking of this, Naruto quickly chose 2. Then he said excitedly to Jiraiya, really? Jiraiya-sensei, I want to learn a new ninjutsu. Quote. Naruto's reaction was very real, and Jiraiya smiled, and the two found a clearing. Zilai also stretched out his hand, and chakra condensed in his hand. Naruto, look, saying that, he casually rubbed out a spiral pill. Wave Feng Shuiman is my disciple, this is his most proud ninjutsu, spiral pill. Naruto looked at it and quickly asked, then how do I study? Quote. Jiraiya shook his head. Naruto, don't be too anxious, this ninjutsu will not be learned for a while. I'll tell you the principle first, your chakra is a wind attribute chakra, so it's very suitable for this ninjutsu. You first. Jiraiya explained the principle to Naruto, and then took out a water ball. Naruto, you use chakra first, and then hold this water ball up, try to see if you can do it. Jiraiya handed the water ball to Naruto. I thought that according to Naruto's talent, it would take at least 7 days to do it. As a result, after Naruto got the water ball, he tried to condense chakra and swirl it in his hand. Although it was the first time he had done such a thing, but with the help of his breathing, Naruto's control over his body and chakra had reached an unimaginable bottom. He can even control the trajectory of each chakra through himself. So the first time he got the balloon, the water inside the balloon spun. The water balloon then elongated and thinned as his consciousness took on different shapes. Jiraiya looked at Naruto and laughed. Naruto, this can't work, you have to make chakra mess in different directions so that. Before he could finish his words, the water ball in Naruto's hand slammed and burst. The splash splashed on Jiraiya's face. Is that so? Toad Fairy. Quote. The corner of Jiraiya's mouth twitched. It's really worthy of being a child of Watergate, this talent is too strong. Jiraiya thought about it, Naruto, you try again. Saying that, he also took out 2 water balloons and handed them to the celebrity. Naruto has one in one hand. Bang twice. Splashes. Jiraiya looked at Naruto with wide eyes. Naruto spread his hands. It's easy, what do we do next? There was also a deep sense of frustration, even if he had studied here for a long time. As a result, people succeeded once. Helplessly, he can only come up with killing moves. He took a leather ball out of his pocket and handed it to Naruto. Naruto, you try this ball again. Naruto took the ball and fell into deep thought. It's not that he can't do it, with his current ability, it may only take a few days to learn the spiral pill. But what about such words and Tsunade's bet? He also wanted Tsunade's necklace. But it doesn't matter, there is already a system, what equipment will not be available in the future? What's wrong, Naruto? Jiraiya saw that Naruto was unmoved, and asked with concern. Naruto quickly shook his head. Nothing. After Naruto answered, he put the ball in the palm of his hand. The waiter manipulated chakra to spin irregularly at his first. The shape of the ball is slightly deformed. Naruto frowned and didn't even break. Naruto thought for a moment and understood that there was no water as a medium inside the ball like a water ball. And its outer skin is harder and more malleable. In that case, then he must increase the amount of his chakra, and the speed of rotation. Jiraiya looked at Naruto, who was frowning, and laughed. Naruto, don't be too anxious, let's contact while hurrying. Quote. Who knows, as soon as Jiraiya finished saying this, Naruto changed the way chakra rotated. Then slightly increased the amount of chakra. Bang. The ball exploded in the palm of Naruto's hand. Jiraiya watched Naruto fall into a long contemplation. He now suspected that this one in front of him was not a nine-tailed imp at all. This guy won't be the reincarnation of Watergate, how can even the spiral pill learn so quickly? Naruto's big sincere eyes stared at Jiraiya. Toad immortal, is that what you said? Jiraiya pondered for a moment, his face suddenly a little praised, feeling that he had received frustration on Naruto's body. In the end, he still handed over the cultivation method of Orochimaru to Naruto. Then let Naruto practice on his own. Only this time, Naruto didn't look like a demon anymore, and Orochimaru rubbed it out for him directly. It's not that Naruto can't rub it, but he feels that the shock caused to Jiraiya today is too great, and he has to give the old-timers a little buffer time. But at the first moment when Jiraiya gave him the method, Naruto successfully cultivated the spiral pill. He also got the system prompt in his mind for the first time. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully learning the spiral pill. Quote. Get rewarded. Daitama spiral pill. Naruto hurriedly had some incredulity after obtaining the cultivation method of the Great Jade Spiral Pill. Vortex Water Gate is really a genius. The so-called Big Jade Spiral Pill is to compress 2 spiral pills together. It's like a spiral shuriken, except that the chakra spinning cabinet of the 2 spiral pills is the opposite. In this way, after a certain degree of chakra compression Tao, once it erupts, the 2 spiral pills can burst several times the previous power. Naruto put his hands in his pockets and Jiraiya practiced the compression of the spiral pill in his pocket as he walked. Start with a little chakra at the beginning, and grow little by little. He didn't want Jiraiya to know that he had learned all the jade spiral pills in his face. The two of them kept walking in the forest, and at this moment, Orochimaru was finding Tsunade in a casino. And he is talking to Tsunade, asking Tsunade to heal his hands at the cost of resurrecting Tsunade's lover and brother. Soon Naruto and Jiraiya came to the city. Unlike Konoha village, the environment here was something Naruto had never seen. But because Naruto himself was a traverser, Naruto didn't have any curiosity about it. Jiraiya introduced Naruto to the humanities and customs in the city along the way. Naruto just listened carefully, but there was no international reaction. The two came to a hotel and stayed. Jiraiya left Naruto alone, while he went to inquire about Tsunade. After seeing Jiraiya go, Naruto's face suddenly fell silent. Because Orochimaru is in this city now, he should have contacted Tsunade. He was wondering if he would go ahead and see Orochimaru. After all, Uncle Snake is one of the few very charismatic characters in the Hokage, both good and evil. After thinking about it, Naruto felt that it was better to forget it, the current trend of the story has deviated from the original. If it causes a greater butterfly effect, Naruto is really afraid that he will be like this. In the end, my strength is not enough. As soon as Naruto thought of this, he returned and told Naruto that he had found Tsunade's whereabouts. Next, I took Naruto to see Tsunade. Soon the two arrived at a restaurant. Jiraiya ordered a table of dishes to serve Tsunade. Shizune sat next to Tsunade, and Naruto weighed the weight after looking at Tsunade's mother-in-law and Shizune's big sister in front of him. These two are really a bit outrageous, not to mention the confidence when Tsunade raised his head and straightened his chest. Although Shizune doesn't look great enough, with his experience of reading countless women, Shizune must have worn a bare bundle. The four of them sat down, and Naruto ignored Tsunade and Jiraiya's reminiscences, the old things between the two of them. Naruto was probably more familiar than themselves. No one could stop Naruto from cooking. In the past, when the old guy was alive, he would give him that pitiful silver every month, not to mention eating, even if he ate instant noodles. So Naruto is also rare to eat a big meal. Seeing Naruto cooking like this, Jiraiya had to hand Naruto his own dinner plate and let him eat enough. Just as Naruto was drying, Jiraiya also said the purpose of his visit. Tsunade, when we teamed up together, you have always admired Naruto-sama, so I came this time to invite you back to serve as the 5th Hokage on behalf of the village. Tsunade was stunned when he heard Jiraiya's words, and then smiled faintly. The death of Mr. Sarutobi really shocked me, but now I am different from me before. Tsunade didn't hide it. Orochimaru came to me just now, and he wanted me to treat his hand injury. What? Zilai was also a little shocked. It turned out that the big snake pill was also here. Then don't promise him, it's that he killed Ape-Fei-sensei. And Tsunade's words are not finished. I didn't promise him, even if he offered conditions that satisfied me. Then Tsunade looked at Jiraiya. And what about you? You didn't offer me any conditions, just wanted me to go back to the Hokage to accept the mess. Please, who cares about that position? Only children will argue with me every day to be a Hokage. If you don't get it, you will end up in the same fate as Mr. Ape-Fei. Hearing Tsunade's words, the corners of Naruto's mouth ticked invisibly, and he knew that his opportunity had come. He quickly put down the cutlery, then stood up and said to Tsunade, "Hey, old woman, you are not allowed to insult Naruto-sama so much. I'm going to be Hokage's man in the future." Quote. After saying this, Naruto suddenly felt so ashamed, just like some guy who was arguing every day to be One Piece. But he couldn't help it. After all, Naruto's character was a little fart who always talked about being a Hokage. If you don't stand up at this time, it's easy to be suspicious. Then Tsunade looked at Naruto and sneered. Take back that sentence. What if I don't take it back? Quote. I'm going to duel you, and if you lose, you'll go back with us and obediently become Hokage. Naruto was excited when he spoke, and he really looked exactly like a hot-blooded young man who had not dried up. Jiraiya looked at Naruto and shook his head helplessly. And Tsunade seemed to see his silly brother in front of Naruto. After thinking about it, she said without care, good. Then if you lose, don't say that you want to be a Hokage in the future. Quote. In a word, the voice just fell. Ding. Discover new options. Quote. Option 1. Defeat Tsunade. Mission reward. Bloodline of the Thousand Hands. Option 2. Be stunned by Tsunade like the original. Mission reward. Earn the title of the most dish crosser. Getting a system prompt was a great pleasure. But this time the choice made Naruto a little difficult. First of all, this fight must be fought. But let him win, he really has no confidence. After all, the other party is 3 people. But for the sake of the Senju bloodline, Naruto decided to fight. Pick 1. Naruto made a decision. Then he and Tsunade immediately came to a clearing. Zilai also watched the two of them go head to head with interest. I really don't know if Naruto will surprise Tsunade. Jiraiya also thought in his heart. And Tsunade also extended a finger and pointed it at Naruto. 1 finger, 1 minute, I can solve you. At the beginning, Naruto was still a little weak in his heart, but seeing Tsunade's way of holding himself, I don't know why, he felt a kind of anger and admiration. I just want to take a good look at the young-looking old woman in front of me. In that case, old lady Tsunade, you must not foul it. Saying that, Naruto's three-color domineering turned on at the same time. Directly rushed to Tsunade. Hearing Naruto say that he was an old woman, Tsunade's head suddenly burst into blue. But thinking of the sentence he had just said solved him with one finger. She grinned and said, "Boy, if you want to provoke me, then I'll give you some color." Quote. Saying that, Tsunade kept poking at the ground, and with a boom, the ground shattered. But Naruto seemed to have known Tsunade's movements for a long time. Directly avoided the direction of the fragmentation in advance. Then the same punch hit Tsunade. Tsunade's jade fingers had a point towards Naruto's joints. But Naruto was short, drunk 8 immortals Zhongguo Lao. Tsunade has seen such a punch there. Directly entangled by Naruto, her physical skills are all styles that need to be opened and closed. And the drunken 8 immortals happen to be experts in trembling. Suffered. Tsunade cursed secretly, knowing that he had caught Naruto's way at this time. So she quickly changed her tactics, intending to have a head-to-head confrontation with Naruto. Naruto's domineering look had already seen and predicted Tsunade's intentions. However, he did not make any dodges, and just like that, he and Tsunade collided with a fist and finger. Tsunade sneered. Good. Quote. Her strange power can paralyze nerve tissue, and Naruto is very tolerant of her breaking nerves by going head-to-head with herself. But after touching Naruto, Tsunade suddenly felt that something was wrong. How could Naruto's skin have such a strong chill? It was like a cold murderous aura, which directly forced her fingers back. The corners of Naruto's mouth raised. Naruto had never fought a powerful enemy before, even if it was Itachi, it was just a point. Most of them were because his physical skills were special, so that the other party was limited and uncomfortable. So the understanding of the characters of the original comic made him feel a little afraid. So this time the duel with Tsunade made Naruto feel firsthand how strong his strength really was. After Naruto tested Tsunade's bottom line, Naruto immediately decided that he was ready to make a move and win. With the help of Tsunade's staggering 2 steps, he immediately approached. And in this process, using the shadow doppelganger, his own body directly engages in hand-to-hand combat with Tsunade. Originally, Tsunade's monster power had no effect in the face of the weapon color domineering. Coupled with Naruto's drunken fist, Tsunade, who hit directly, was caught off guard. At the same time, Naruto's shadow doppelganger directly rubbed a spiral pill out. Then he blasted at Tsunade. Tsunade was a little angry when he saw this. Boy, you're a little too much. Saying that, she no longer held up, and directly changed her fingers into a fist, and it was a punch against the spiral pill. With a bang, even the surrounding buildings began to shake. Naruto's shadow doppelganger directly burst all of them, and he did not use the Great Jade Spiral Pill. This trick should be left to Uncle Snake, who is still watching. Shizune was almost blown out by the aftermath of the two's attack, but Naruto's attack was not over yet. He used his domineering power to forcibly stabilize his figure, and then faced Tsunade and went over. Uncle Sao Guo, the immortal toasts the lock throat button. This is the killing move inside the drunken 8 immortals. And at this time it was the perfect time to use it. Tsunade's original figure did not stand firmly, and it was still sheltered by Naruto at a critical time. Boy, don't think you can really beat me. The two became entangled again. It's just that this time the battle between the two has no restrictions, and the fight is unreserved. Both of them fought in anger. Shizune watched a little overwhelmed by the side. Jiraiya-sama, is this really okay? Zilai also touched his head and was also a little confused. When did Naruto become so powerful? Wrong. He quickly figured out the problem. It's not that Naruto has become powerful, but Naruto has finally brought out his full strength. It's hard to imagine a teenager doing this. Is this the power of the Nine-Tails? Jiraiya attributed everything to Naruto the Nine-Tails. Watergate, do you see that? Your son is a genius. Quote. At this moment, a puff of dust suddenly rose beside Naruto. What? Both Tsunade and the other two outside the field were surprised by this scene. Naruto even escaped. These flying sand directly condensed into a big hand, clasping Tsunade's pulse gate. And one of Naruto's hands was directly clasped on Tsunade's throat. Tsunade looked at Naruto with a very complicated look in his eyes. There was both shock at Naruto's strength and appreciation for his juniors. And Naruto's mouth had a trace of blood, which was caused by Tsunade's strange force hitting his face. It's just that there is a weapon color domineering, and there are no symptoms of nerve paralysis. Tsunade and Shizune hurriedly stepped forward to check on their injuries. Naruto stared at Tsunade deadly. You lost, you have to go back with me to succeed Hokage. Quote. Tsunade sighed. I can't stand you, I won't break my word. Saying that, a pendant was knotted from his neck. This pendant was a relic of the original Hokage, and it was given to you. Then he turned around and was about to leave, only to be Naruto fell straight down after hearing Tsunade's words. He's okay. It's just that chakra is exhausted. Tsunade looked at Naruto and turned to look at Jiraiya. You have taken a good apprentice. Zilai also looked at Tsunade with a smile. The way you taught him just now is also good, and in the end, you deliberately sold a flaw and lost to him. Quote. But Tsunade shook his head. No, I didn't mean to sell that flaw to him. Jiraiya still wanted to ask, but Tsunade had no intention of continuing to answer. Just helped Naruto deal with the injuries from the duel just now and got up to leave. Well, I'm a person who does what I say, and I am willing to gamble and lose. Let this imp rest here for 3 days, and after 3 days I will return to Konoha with you. Jiraiya said with a grin, actually, seeing Naruto bet with you is that I know that this Hokage is your decision. Quote. Oh, why? Quote. Tsunade asked rhetorically. Because you never won a bet. Get out. Tsunade raised his fist angrily, wanting to blast the hammer himself. Jiraiya hurriedly left with Naruto. In fact, only Tsunade knew that she was in the fight with Naruto, and Naruto, the guy, didn't know how, suddenly gave up defense and exchanged a move with himself. After hitting Naruto himself, he actually vomited his own blood on his body. Directly let your hemophobia offend. Otherwise, Naruto's last blow would have been completely manageable by himself. What a cunning brat. The next few days passed very calmly. Tsunade and Jiraiya also come out from time to time for a drink and catch up. Naruto, on the other hand, immersed his consciousness in the sealed space at this time. Seeing that the Nine-Tails are training this Sand Guardian Suru in their own way, Naruto was a little amused. Sure enough, the nine-tailed beasts are all pets that do not grow up. Seeing Naruto come in, the Nine-Tails glanced sideways at Naruto. You finally know you're coming. Naruto spread his hands. There have been a lot of things lately, and I still have to practice. Then Naruto got straight to the point. 9 llamas, be my help. The Nine-Tails was stunned, looking at Naruto's eyes a little complicated. Then he said a little maliciously, don't think that you can manipulate me by unlocking Jushin's bloodline. Quote. Naruto shook his head. No, 9 llamas, as long as you join hands with me and become my help, then I promise you that one day in the future you will restore your freedom. The Nine-Tails fell into deep thought. He knew that Naruto was not lying. But first tell him that this little ghost in front of him is not simple at all. Saying that, Naruto unreservedly released his newly obtained Senju bloodline. The Senju clan and the Uzumaki clan were originally the same clan and the same clan. So the bloodline between them was originally figured out. And the Nine-Tails had learned the power of the 1,000-hand pillars 100 years ago. He is the powerful person who can directly understand the 1,000-hand bloodline and the Vortex bloodline. And Naruto's purpose in doing this is to let the 9 llamas know, I am giving you face, you don't know how to lift. Now Naruto can completely suppress the Nine-Tails with these 2 bloodlines of his own. It's just that the Tsunade character of the Nine-Tails needs to give it a step. Shozuru was already hiding in the corner and shivering. And the Nine-Tails pondered for a moment, finally sighing. Okay, Naruto, I'm willing to cooperate with you, but we can only be companions. Naruto sneered, what a Tsunade. Quote, then stretch out your fist. That's a good cooperation. Happy cooperation. The fists of the 2 touched together, and then the seal of the Nine-Tails suddenly and automatically unraveled. The sealed gate split to the sides with a bang. Then Naruto in reality suddenly opened his eyes. A vortex of chakra appeared on his body. Then the fiery red 9-tailed chakra overflowed from inside his body. He worked hard to control, and I have to say that the chakra of the tailed beast is indeed powerful and irritable. Even if it was him, with full concentration of breathing, it still took a lot of effort to adapt. In the end, Naruto only made a chakra coat outside the chakra, which calmed him down. Naruto breathed a sigh of relief. Almost let chakra run away. This guy of the nine tails is also true, overflowing so many chakra out at once. Just as he had withdrawn the nine-tailed chakra coat, there was a knock on the door outside. Naruto went to open the door and Shizune walked in. Naruto, I actually came to apologize to you this time. Naruto frowned. Actually, Shizune told Naruto the story of Tsunade's brother and lover. Then he told the truth that Tsunade had not wanted to face this all these years. These Naruto knew, and the question he frowned at was that if he guessed correctly, Tsunade would soon be going to face Orochimaru alone. Sister Shizune, how long have I slept? Shizune thought for a moment and said, 3 days. Quote, 3 days. In the original book, Tsunade is the big snake pill who only went to meet alone on the 7th day. But his domineering attitude has always given him a feeling that something big is about to happen. Thinking of this, Naruto directly let go of his domineering attitude. The whole city is under his perception. Soon he was in a corner of 5 people and saw Tsunade, Orochimaru, and Yakushi. At this time, Tsunade was making a seal and preparing to heal Orochimaru's arm. Suffered. Naruto quickly opened the window, and then said to Shizune, you go and call the toad immortal. Let's just say that Tsunade's mother-in-law is in danger. Quote. Saying that, he went straight out of the window and ran directly to the big snake pill. Shizune hadn't come to her senses yet, but she knew as if something big was going to happen. So he quickly did what Naruto said. At this moment, Tsunade was using chakra to do only one medical ninjutsu, approaching Orochimaru's hands. At this moment, the medicine master threw out the bitterness and prevented the contact between the two. What are you doing, Pocket? I'm sorry, Orochimaru-sama. I found that Tsunade-sama is a bit heavy on your murderous aura, and it doesn't look like he wants to heal you. Orochimaru didn't pay attention to the murderous aura on Tsunade's body because he was desperate to get treatment. Tsunade saw that his plan had not succeeded, and simply did not pretend. The fire of Konoha is endless. I have found the inheritance of Konoha, and the next is to blade you traitor for the teacher. The snake-like vertical pupils of the big snake pill suddenly narrowed, like a poisonous snake that chose people to eat. Orochimaru-sama, Tsunade-sama has always been someone I admire, so please give her to me. Orochimaru frowned, then laughed. Good. I would like to see a good show. Quote. Then the hands of the Pocket were covered by chakra, the scalpel technique. The two immediately fought together. The scalpel technique can directly cut off the tendons of the attacking target, while the strange force can paralyze the nerves. The two pointed out in the same way that the two fought back and forth. However, Yakushi was the opponent of Tsunade as the 3 ninjas, and within a few rounds, Yakushi was defeated, and just when Tsunade was about to make a final kill, Yakushi Pocket suddenly took out the arm of Kumu and stabbed down. Ah! Tsunade exclaimed, and the medicine master looked at Tsunade with a sly smile. Oh, I really didn't expect that you, as a 3 ninja, have the Achilles heel of hemophobia. Kick Tsunade over. Hihaha, Tsunade-sama, your strange power really makes me suffer a lot. Then another punch hit Tsunade in the face. Let you strike at Lord Orochimaru. Du's fists and kicks continued to fall on Tsunade's body, beating her and verbally insulting her. It's a pity that Tsunade, as a 3rd shinobi, is old, and he has to be humiliated by a young man. Then he felt that he was almost playing, and he pulled out his scalpel. Okay, I'll send you to meet your lover. Then a stab fell, but who knew that a wall of sand suddenly appeared in front of Tsunade? What? Tsunade was there too. Pocket hurriedly closed his hand. The sand wall fell, revealing Naruto's figure. Finally arrived. You are very embarrassed, Tsunade-sama. Naruto looked at Tsunade with interest. Naruto, you go quickly, these two are difficult to deal with. Tsunade hurriedly reminded, and the medicine master Pocket also showed a playful smile. It's senior brother Naruto, since you are here, obediently follow us, I just need a human experiment specimen. Medicine master Pocket is the same as the big snake pill, a biochemical maniac. I have to say that this is a traditional performance in a small day. Naruto sneered and looked at Yakushi Pocket, and just then, his system prompted again. Ding. Discover the choice that the host faces. Quote. Option 1. defeat the Great Snake Pill and the Medicine Master. Mission reward, full chakra attribute mastery. Option 2, run away immediately. Mission reward, earn the title of Vortex Run. If it was before, facing Orochimaru and Medicine Master Naruto, he would definitely not dare to go head to head with the two of them. But after just receiving a stop, Naruto thoroughly understood his own abilities, and even reached a consensus with the Nine-Tails. So now he doesn't say that he faces Yakushi and Orochimaru, even if he lets him and Uchiha break their wrists. So Naruto directly unfolded his three-color domineering without saying a word, and went straight to the Medicine Master's pocket. Yakushi Pocket's impression of Naruto was still at the stage of the Chunin exam. Originally, he didn't pay attention to Naruto's meaning, but he was also caught off guard when he felt the momentum on Naruto. However, his scalpel technique was very aimed at Naruto's hand-to-hand grappling style. He slapped Naruto's shoulder with a palm. One blow can destroy one of your arms. The other hand pushed Naruto's chest. Cut the tendons of your chest muscles, then you can't breathe. But who knew that Naruto's weapon color domineering did not eat it at all? What? He looked at Naruto incredulously. How could this be? Naruto was unscathed after receiving his attack. One punch knocked him out. Then Naruto sneered. Here's a taste of this. Saying that, Naruto stretched out a hand, and a spiral pill appeared in his hand, and then the color of this spiral pill gradually adhered to the emerald green. Daitama Spiral Pill. With a bang, a spiral pill that was more than 2 people tall converged in Naruto's hand. Directly thrown by Naruto to the medicine pocket. If this blow hits, then the Medicine Master will definitely die. Just as he was about to strike, the figure of the big snake pill flashed and rescued the Medicine Master. It's so idle. The Medicine Master patted his heart with trepidation. Homeopathy gives yourself a healing technique. How can this guy be so powerful? The big snake pill bit open his bandage with his mouth and said to the Medicine Master, "It seems that we have to strike together." Quote. The Medicine Master understood and cut the finger of the big snake pill and used his blood to seal the psychic technique. Bang! After a burst of blue smoke, a huge 2-headed snake appeared in the field. Medicine Master Pocket and Big Snake Pill stood on top of the 2 snake heads of the 2 snakes. Seeing this scene, Tsunade slowly stood up. It seems that I am also going to make a move, and I can't let the juniors look down on me. Who knew that? Naruto glanced at Tsunade with great disgust. You still heal your wounds there, now you can only be a burden. Tsunade choked on Naruto's words. But thinking of Naruto's powerful spiral pill just now, she smiled. Boy, don't die, after I inherit the 5 generations of Hokage, you will be my heir. Naruto didn't answer her, just turned his head to look at Orochimaru. Uncle Snake, you are a teammate of the Toad Immortal, it is my honor to be able to defeat you. The big snake pill in the corner of his mouth twitched. His ninjutsu just now is too powerful, we can't give him a chance to cast it. Pocket nodded. That's right, but he has already used it once just now, and his chakra should not be able to use a second time. Saying that, the two attacked Naruto one after the other, with the Medicine Master in front and Orochimaru spitting out the Kusanagi sword in the back. And the 2-headed snake directly waved its tail and circled Naruto to prevent him from having a route to escape. But Naruto had no intention of dodging. Tsunade shouted anxiously from the side, "Be careful." Quote. Who knew that Naruto's body flashed red? 9 llamas. A voice echoed inside his body. Then Naruto directly put on a layer of 9-tailed chakra coat. He first extended his hands towards the tail of the 2-headed snake. The chakra cloak automatically formed 2 huge claws. Although the snake skin is smooth and the snake is hard, it is like tofu in front of the 9 tails, and it will break when touched. Naruto held the tails of the 2-headed snake and tore them hard. Yikes! The tail of the 2-headed snake was directly torn apart by Naruto. What? Medicine Master Pocket and the big snake pill were both stunned by the scene in front of them. The 9 tails also had some true scriptures, looking at the domineering color of the weapons covered on his hands. Is that what it is? With it, it is really invincible. Quote. He knew, though a few hundred of those 2-headed snakes were simple. But without Naruto's weapon color domineering, it would still take a little time. However, the power of this weapon is too powerful. No, This is not because Hokage is domineering and powerful, but Naruto is too strong. Tsunade had also pinched Naruto a sweat, wanting to forcibly summon a slugs to help Naruto. Who knew that Naruto actually had such a whole card? So it's you, nine-tailed ghost. And the big snake pill knew that it was not good at the first time, but the momentum of the forward rush could not be changed. Naruto looked at Yakushi and Orochimaru and the two showed a cruel smile. It does take time to cast the Great Jade Spiral Pill, but the Spiral Pill does not. Chakra's coat condensed more than a dozen arms, condensing chakra at the same time, and then a dozen spiral pills were rubbed out by Naruto like this. Then Naruto said lightly, "Uncle Snake, I invite you to eat balls and cripple you." Quote. One after another, the spiral pills continuously flew out from Chakra's condensed arm and went straight to the big snake pill. Seeing this, the big snake pill couldn't help but sneer. Obviously this level of attack he didn't pay attention to at all. In Orochimaru's opinion, although Naruto is very strong now, it is still too weak for him. This level of spiral pill, if he let Jiraiya cast it, maybe he would feel tricky. But if it was Naruto, it could be completely ignored. However, just when Orochimaru thought that the balls Naruto had rubbed out were useless, the corners of Naruto's mouth showed a curve. Naruto also knew very well in his heart that with his current strength, this level of spiral pills was simply not enough to defeat the Great Snake Pill. So as soon as he made a move, Naruto had an extra heart. At this moment, almost all of the spiral pills he rubbed out were attached to him with Armed Color Domineering. And under the blessing of Armed Color Domineering, the attack power of the spiral pill is not ordinary strong. Even if the strength of the big snake pill is strong, he can't carry such an attack, unless he wants to die. Seeing those spiral pills getting closer and closer to the big snake pill in the medicine master's pocket, Naruto became more and more expectant. However, just when those spiral pills came to the big snake pill at an extremely fast speed and were about to land on him, the big snake pill finally sensed that something was wrong. There is something wrong with this attack. Quote. Psychic. 10,000 snakes. Come out. Quote. The previously psychic big snake has been solved by Naruto, and at this moment, the big snake pill has to channel out 10,000 snakes to start defense. And just when Naruto's spiral pill was about to fall on the body of the big snake pill, the shadow of 10,000 snakes suddenly appeared. The next moment, I saw the 10,000 snakes just swept their tails, and they flew out all of Naruto's spiral pills wrapped in Armed Color Domineering. Seeing that he almost succeeded, but in the end Orochimaru was blocked by 10,000 snakes, Naruto couldn't help but feel stunned. It's 10,000 snakes. Naruto looked at the 10,000 snakes that came out of the Great Snake Pill with wide eyes, frowning slightly. The strength of this 10,000 snakes Naruto is very clear, because it is the leader of the Psychic Snake Clan, and its defense is even stronger. Hehe, little ghost, I have to admit that you still have some strength. But playing this set in front of Orochimaru, one of my three, doesn't work at all. Now let you taste my power. Orochimaru seemed to be intrigued by Naruto's tricks, and was ready to deal with Naruto himself at this time. As one of the three ninjas, the strength of the Great Snake Pill is unquestionable. If anyone can defeat him, the rules are only Tsunade and Jiraiya. At this time, just as Orochimaru was about to deal with Naruto, suddenly another huge figure fell from the sky. When Naruto saw who was coming, he was overjoyed. Orochimaru, bullying my apprentice, isn't this kind of thing too cheap? Quote. I'll be your opponent. Jiraiya was standing on Toad Bunta at this time, leaving Naruto with only a back. However, this back is more and more windy the more you look at it. The next moment, Naruto jumped directly above Toad Bunta's head and stood with Jiraiya. Naruto, I saw the attack just now, well done. Leave it to me next. Jiraiya didn't want Naruto to get involved in danger, so he planned to deal with Orochimaru personally. However, just when Jiraiya was just about to make a move, finally Tsunade behind him had already channeled a slug. At this moment, the legendary three shinobi finally gathered again. Only this time it was not a comrade, but an enemy. Jiraiya, don't forget I'm still alive. Grab the big snake pill and bring him back to the village. Tsunade had already untied his heart after passing the previous events. At this time, she glanced at Naruto gratefully, her eyes full of gratitude. If it hadn't been for Naruto's desperation to give her time to recover, I'm afraid she would have died by now. Nah, mother-in-law Tsunade, you're finally cheering up. But to deal with Uncle Snake, you and the teacher don't need to make a move. I'm enough alone. Naruto should be ready to strike again at this point. In his opinion, if Tsunade and Jiraiya are allowed to make a move, then the task will not be completed. The rewards from the previous mission were very good, and Naruto didn't want to miss it. However, just as Naruto was about to strike, Jiraiya wanted to stop him. Obviously, in his opinion, Naruto was no match for Orochimaru at all. Orochimaru is also one of the legendary three ninjas, and his performance was very prominent in the ninja war that year. Until now, many people still have palpitations when they mention this guy. So he didn't want Naruto to risk it anyway. However, just when Jiraiya was about to stop Naruto, Naruto didn't know when he had secretly rubbed out the big jade spiral pill. And there is more than one big jade spiral pill, which really shocked Ji-Lai. It turned out that just when the appearance of Jiraiya and Tsunade attracted the attention of Orochimaru, Naruto was already preparing. While a few people were talking, Naruto had secretly prepared in the rear with Chakra's condensed arm. At this moment, when more than a dozen large jade spiral pills were ready, Naruto directly wrapped all the armed color domineering chi on it. In the next second, in the shocked gazes of Jiraiya and Tsunade, Naruto directly threw the big jade spiral pill out. When the big snake pill on the opposite side saw this scene at this time, he couldn't help but shrink his pupils and reacted quickly. 10,000 snakes, dodge those attacks. With the order of the big snake pill, the 10,000 snakes decisively flew towards the sky. However, just when 10,000 snakes was about to rush into the sky, Toad Wentai had already sealed the way of 10,000 snakes under the command of Ji-Lai. As a last resort, the 10,000 snake had to change direction, but just as it was heading towards another place with the great snake pill in the medicine master's pocket, the slug and Tsunade immediately blocked their way. Seeing that they were being hit back and forth, 10,000 snakes and big snake pill didn't know what to do for a while. And at this moment, Naruto threw out more than a dozen large jade spiral pills wrapped in armed color domineering suddenly appeared. The next moment, I saw those big jade spiral pills directly bombarding the body of 10,000 snakes. Rao is the defensive power of 10,000 snakes, and he can't withstand so many big jade spiral pills. What's more, it was still wrapped in a domineering big jade spiral pill. In this way, 10,000 snakes was injured by the great jade spiral pill, and the great snake pill that had been on him was not spared. Originally, the big snake pill still wanted to hide in the body of 10,000 snakes, but obviously the speed of the big jade spiral pill was faster. Haha, Uncle Snake, is my big jade spiral pill delicious? Would you like to do it again? Naruto looked at the 10,000 snakes and the big snake pill not far away who were already injured, and immediately became happy. In contrast, the big snake pill and the medicine master were full of embarrassment at the moment. Coupled with the fact that Jiraiya and Tsunade were eyeing each other, Orochimaru had to make the decision to retreat. Although he was unwilling and was disturbed by a little ghost for his good deeds, the big snake pill still had some self-awareness. Under the legendary three shinobi and the two joined forces, even in his heyday, he may not be able to win. Coupled with the fact that a Naruto who suddenly appeared seemed to be tricky as well, Orochimaru could only stop. HMPH, little ghost, don't be happy too early, we'll see you again. After the big snake pill threw a cruel word at this time, he decisively disappeared into a cloud of smoke with the medicine master's pocket. Watching Orochimaru and Yakushi escape, Tsunade and Jiraiya did not chase. They knew very well that once the big snake pill was pressed, they were afraid that anything could be done. After all, he is also one of the three ninjas, and even if he wins and loses the victory and defeat if he fights again, someone will die. Whether as former companions or current enemies, they don't want anything to happen to each other. This may be the bond between them, and this bond may last a lifetime. Just like in the original book, Naruto and Sakura and Nizu, this bond cut is constantly messed up. Alas, it's a pity, I still have a lot of balls I want to give to Uncle Snake. Why did you run away? It's really boring. Naruto saw that Jiraiya fled in a hurry, and couldn't help but stick out his tongue. At this moment, Ji-Lai had already come to him, and then knocked on the top of his head. Boy, don't be complacent. Quote, the strength of this guy Big Snake Pill is more than that. Although you surprise me now, that guy still doesn't provoke less, he can do anything. Jiraiya gave Naruto a lesson bitterly, and Naruto nodded consciously after listening to it. Naruto also knew very well in his heart that with his current strength, he was indeed far behind. If he wants not to be remembered by a guy like Orochimaru, then he can only become stronger. Just as Jiraiya was talking to Naruto, Tsunade finally walked over. At this time, the look in her eyes towards Naruto became more complicated. Naruto's performance earlier had completely exceeded her expectations. She could never have imagined that Naruto could actually be so strong. You must know that the Big Snake Pill that he fought against before, one of the 3 shinobi, that guy would be afraid even if he met the upper shinobi. But Naruto was able to be so calm and force the other party to that point, which is really not simple. Naruto, did you just give you all the tricks? It seems that your talent is really powerful. Becoming a Hokage is just around the corner. Quote. Tsunade praised Naruto, but Jiraiya, who was listening from the sidelines at this time, was a little weak-hearted. Because he didn't teach much other than a little bit of the little skill of the spiral pill. The reason why Naruto used the spiral pill was thanks to his own high enough understanding. As for the Great Jade Spiral Pill, this was beyond Jiraiya's expectations. Well, I said I didn't teach him to believe. Speaking of Naruto, when did you learn that Big Maruko? Jiraiya was also a little curious, and seeing him ask, Naruto certainly couldn't say that it was a reward for the system. So soon Naruto made up his own reason and prepared to prevaricate. Well, I had a dream during the 3 days I was in a coma before. That's how I realized it in my dream. Naruto told with a weak look on his face how he realized the Great Jade Spiral Pill. It's just that this is not to mention himself, and even he doesn't believe it. However, Jiraiya did not continue to ask, in his opinion, as long as Naruto did not take a crooked path. Did you use the Nine-Tails chakra just now? Tsunade seemed to have thought of something at this point, so he asked. Naruto saw that Tsunade had recognized the chakra from his previous battle, so he no longer hid it. Obviously, if you lie again at this time, it will be a little too much. After all, Naruto is just a shinobi now, where can he have so many chakra rubbing balls? And the rubbing is still that kind of big ball, which is simply outrageous. So when Tsunade asked, Naruto nodded decisively. As soon as I was in a hurry, I was afraid that Tsunade's mother-in-law would have an accident, so I borrowed the chakra of that guy in my body. But it's not used anymore. Naruto was very sincere, but Tsunade was very satisfied. However, the thought of the chakra in Naruto's body coming from the Nine-Tails, Tsunade couldn't help but frown. Naruto, promise me not to use the Nine-Tails chakra easily in the future. The chakra of the Nine-Tails has a good chance of making you unconscious. Then you're in danger. Tsunade obviously couldn't forget about the Nine-Tails attack on the village, and at this time reminded Naruto that he also hoped that Naruto would not go down the evil path. Naruto nodded decisively when he heard the consequences, and he kind of agreed. However, what they didn't know was that Naruto had already reached an agreement with the Nine-Tails. The current Nine-Tails and Naruto have already become partners, so it is not a problem to use the Nine-Tails as much chakra. Soon, after a few people talked a little, seeing that there was no longer danger around, they were ready to leave for Konoha. And just as several people were on their way back to Konoha, Naruto's mind suddenly sounded a system prompt. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the mission to repel the Great Snake Pill. Quote. Get rewarded. Full chakra attribute mastery. Hearing the prompt in his head, Naruto couldn't help but get a little excited. Apparently this reward is definitely useful for Naruto. You must know that before this, Naruto was best at only 2 kinds of chakra, wind attribute and fire attribute. Now with this reward, almost all chakra ninjutsu Naruto can easily master. This way, Naruto no longer had to be bound by chakra's attributes. In other words, Naruto can learn all attributes of ninjutsu and master it. This ability is not available to everyone. If memory serves, even in the original book, only the first and second generation Hokage have that strength. Of course, except for the Itsuki family, who called them the original ninjas. In this way, Kakashi-sensei's Chidori can also be practiced. And Tsunade's mother-in-law's healing technique. That's too useful. Quote. Naruto couldn't help but muttered to himself. Although Naruto himself had a very strong ability to recover, he still wanted to learn some healing techniques. If you have a healing technique, you can heal your peers at any time, so Naruto is enough to break the ninja world pattern. You must know that according to the management, ninjas go out to perform tasks to 3 people to travel for the squad. Medical ninjas are indispensable, but if you learn them yourself, you are completely unbound by this condition. Thinking of this, Naruto began pestering Tsunade to teach him medical ninjutsu. At first, Tsunade was reluctant, and in her opinion, Naruto did not have that talent at all. However, after Naruto's death stalking, Tsunade finally relented. On the way back to Konoha village, Tsunade simply handed over the principles of medical ninjutsu to Naruto. Originally, she did not hold out any hope. After all, the requirements of medical ninjutsu are very harsh, and not many people can learn to kill. However, what she never expected was that Naruto had the talent of mastery of the full attribute chakra that was rewarded by the system. With the blessing of this talent, even the most difficult medical ninjutsu is not a problem. Soon Naruto mastered the art of medical ninjutsu and performed it in front of Tsunade. Seeing this scene, not only Tsunade felt stunned, but even Jiraiya was shocked at this time. Naruto, you're not supposed to be a monster, are you? Quote. Why does it seem like you can easily master medical ninjutsu? Won't your chakra attribute be repulsive? As a famous legendary ninja in the ninja world, he really can't figure it out. It's not that no one has done this before, but it has always ended in failure. However, Naruto's appearance was shocking, and he could master medical ninjutsu while learning other ninjutsu. If this is spread, I am afraid that few people will really believe it. One is because it needs to consume more mental energy, and the other is because medical ninjutsu needs to consume more chakra. So in Jiraiya's opinion, this is absolutely impossible. Now Naruto actually did it, which can no longer be explained by amazing talent, it should be described by the word genius. And just when Jiraiya was surprised, Naruto also began to explain indiscriminately. Maybe it's because I have the existence of the 9 tails in my body, chakra can't use it up. A little bit of chakra leaked by the 9 tails is enough for me to use for a long time. Besides, I still have the blood of the Vortex clan in my body. It should be different from people. Quote. Naruto's far-fetched explanation finally concealed Jiraiya and Tsunade. In the following journey, Naruto became much more low-key in order not to be too eye-catching. It wasn't until he returned to Konoha village that he breathed a sigh of relief. After returning to the village, Naruto separated from Jiraiya and Tsunade and returned to his residence alone. As for Tsunade, he came to the headquarters of Konoha village accompanied by Jiraiya. News of Tsunade taking over the Gadaimime Hokage also quickly spread in the village. Although the most unhappy thing is Tuanzang, but now he is not stupid enough to jump out and oppose it. So soon Tsunade naturally became the 5th generation of Konoha village Hokage. And since Tsunade took over as Hokage, everyone seems to have the backbone of the main heart. The gray atmosphere of the village disappeared almost instantly, replaced by a yearning for the future. In the hospital in Konoha village, Nezuko is still lying on the hospital bed. When Naruto arrived at the hospital, he happened to see Sakura taking care of Nezu. If it is according to the plot of the original book, Naruto should feel uncomfortable. However, Naruto at this time is not the guy in the original book, and the current Naruto has no idea about Sakura. In Naruto's opinion, in the world of Hokage, there are many girls who are better than Sakura. For example, Hinata, such as Shizuka, who also married Naruto, and even Ino is stronger than Sakura. Naruto in the original book is a big licking dog, and the current Naruto doesn't want to be like him. At this time, seeing Sakura taking care of Nezu, Naruto went straight to the ward. Ahem, Urzu hasn't woken up yet. Quote, Naruto's sudden opening startled Sakura. But when she saw Naruto, Sakura nodded with red eyes. Naruto, did you say Sasuke-kun would get better? Sakura asked worriedly. Of course, 2 pillars will be fine. I'll treat him. Quote, Naruto said and walked over to Nijuko's hospital bed, and then prepared to try it out using the medical ninjutsu that Tsunade had given him. However, just as Naruto put his hand on Nizu's forehead and prepared to use medical ninjutsu, Sakura panicked. Naruto, what are you doing? Healing is a medical ninja thing, you don't mess around. What to do if you hurt Sasuke-kun? Quote. Sakura has always been worried that Nizu has more than Naruto, so she also wants to push Naruto away at this time. But just when she was about to push Naruto away, Naruto's hand suddenly glowed with a pale green light. That pale green glow was a chakra that Sakura had never seen before. As soon as he saw this chakra appear in the palm of Naruto's hand, Sakura was suddenly stunned in place. Naruto, when did you learn this medical ninjutsu? Sakura was obviously a little stunned. In her impression, Naruto was the tail of the Wannian crane. Any ninjutsu Naruto is a half-hanger, and although it has become a lot stronger recently, it is not as good as the second pillar. After all, who called the second pillar has a cooler appearance, and it is a girl who likes it. At this time, seeing Naruto without saying a word, concentrating on treating Nizu, Sakura finally closed her mouth. At this moment, the 5th generation Hokage Tsunade also rushed to the hospital with Shizuka. Originally, she had come to treat Nijuko, but when she saw that Naruto had arrived first, she decisively stopped at the door. Standing in the doorway, watching Naruto's medical ninjutsu be much stronger than when he was on the road before, Tsunade was also a little stunned. You must know that she is already a very talented medical ninja, but Naruto's performance is simply outrageous than her. Tsunade-sama, is it really okay for Naruto to do this? Just as Tsunade watched without saying a word as Naruto treated Nijuko, Shizune on the side became a little worried. But just when Shizune was worried, Naruto finally lowered his hand from Urzu's forehead. Phew, should wake up, right? Quote. After Naruto lowered his hand, he quietly looked at Nijuko, hoping that his medical ninjutsu would work. However, after waiting for a moment, Urzu still did not wake up, and Naruto couldn't help but shake his head. It was also at this time that Tsunade finally walked to the hospital bed. Well, Tsunade-san, why didn't my medical ninjutsu work just now? Quote. As soon as Naruto saw Tsunade, he asked puzzled. At this time, Tsunade also carefully explained to Naruto. At the same time, her hand was also placed on Urzu's body, and then her palm released a faint green light. You've done a great job. Most of his injuries have been healed by you. Quote. Leave the rest to me. Tsunade said and treated it seriously. After another moment, when Tsunade stopped, Urzu finally slowly opened his eyes. As soon as she saw Nizu open her eyes, Sakura immediately pounced. Woo, it was Naruto and Tsunade-sama who saved you. Sakura repeated what had happened earlier, and when Nijuko heard that Naruto actually knew how to heal ninjutsu, he was completely stunned on the bed. Apparently Nijuko was a little unable to accept this reality. In his eyes, Naruto was the eternal crane tail. Whether it was talent or background, Naruto was no better than himself. He hadn't put Naruto in his eyes since the beginning, but now it was this person he couldn't look at who saved him, which made him somewhat unacceptable. And just when the second pillar was stunned, Naruto finally spoke. It's over, shouldn't I be stupid? 2 pillars, do you still know who I am? Quote. Naruto stretched out his hand and shook it in front of Urzu's eyes as he spoke. But soon Urzu slapped his hand from front of him to the side. Get up, you fellow. Urzuzi was a little impatient, not so much impatient, but actually more jealous. Apparently, Naruto's recent growth has been somewhat beyond his expectations. Now when he looks at Naruto again, he always feels that Naruto seems to be shrouded in a mystery. And this mystery made him a little uneasy, perhaps because of his self-esteem, or perhaps simply unhappy. Gee, there is still energy to lose your temper, it seems to be good. If it's okay, then I'll be a Tsunade mother-in-law and leave. Naruto finished saying and was about to turn and leave, but without waiting for Naruto to take a few steps, the second pillar finally spoke. Naruto, you guy, wait for me. Quote, when I'm ready, I'm going to compete with you again. Nijuko obviously didn't believe that Naruto would improve so quickly, so he wanted to verify it himself. For the immature performance of the second pillar, Naruto was not impressed. At this time, I saw Naruto wave at the second pillar and leave the ward without saying anything. As for Tsunade, after seeing that Nijuko was okay, he also left with Naruto. In the corridor, within a few steps, Naruto thought of Xiao Li, who was also injured in the exam. Previously, when he was training with Kai-sensei, Naruto promised Kai to cure Xiao Li. So soon Naruto took Tsunade's hand and walked straight to the hospital room where Xiao Li was. Naruto, what a system of pulling and pulling. Quote, Tsunade-sama is now our 5th generation Hokage. Please don't. Quote. The silence beside Tsunade reminded Naruto, but Naruto didn't let go. What are you afraid of? Tsunade's mother-in-law won't care. Care too much, it will get older. Right, Tsunade mother-in-law. Quote. Naruto smiled and turned his head to look at Tsunade, just not waiting for her to see Tsunade's face. Tsunade's fist had already fallen on top of his head. With a bang, I saw that Naruto immediately had a large bag on his head. I hate people saying I'm old. After Tsunade finished punching, he decisively walked into Xiao Li's hospital room, leaving Naruto alone outside grinning. Ah, it hurts. The dead old woman is really merciless. Quote. Naruto called as he followed him into Xiao Li's ward. However, when Naruto walked to the bed and saw Xiao Li on crutches, he couldn't help but worry. Xiao Li's injuries are more serious, and in the original book, he almost gave up being a ninja. Speaking of the person he admired the most in his previous life, Xiao Li is definitely one. In Naruto's eyes, this guy is like an unbeatable Shaoqiang, giving people a hope of life from time to time. So Naruto didn't want such a ninja to go on a strange path. So soon Naruto asked Tsunade about Xiao Li. Teacher Kai on the side was even more anxious. After all, Xiao Li was one of his most proud apprentices, and he didn't want Xiao Li to have anything more than anyone. However, just when Naruto and Kai-sensei were expecting Tsunade to treat Xiao Li, Tsunade shook his head. Give up being a ninja. Tsunade shook his head. Apparently Xiao Li's injuries were too severe and he was no longer suitable to be a ninja. However, just as Tsunade said this, Xiao Li on the hospital bed finally couldn't help crying. Naruto on the side saw Xiao Li's tears coming out of his eyes, and he was also a little unbearable. Tsunade mother-in-law, aren't you the best medical ninja? How could it not be helped? Since you can't, then I'll come. Quote. Naruto said and directly began to use medical ninjutsu on Xiao Li. This time Naruto did almost everything he could, so that Naruto's chakra could be detected in the entire room overflowing. Feeling Naruto's strong desire to heal, even Tsunade was moved. Alas, Naruto. Quote. Forget it, I'll help you. Tsunade seemed to be touched by Naruto as he spoke. So soon she joined forces with Naruto to treat Xiao Li. This time, when Naruto was treating Xiao Li, he added some of the power of the Uzumaki clan to the medical ninjutsu, and at the same time, the power of the Senju clan was fused. Soon there was a violent reaction, and Xiao Li, who was originally sentenced to death by Tsunade, also felt the heat of his body at this time. Even Tsunade, who shot together, sensed that something was wrong at this time. What's going on? Why is Naruto's medical ninjutsu so special? Quote. Shouldn't it be the power of the Nine-Tails? Tsunade thought of the Nine-Tails for the first time when he sensed something was wrong. But she quickly denied her idea. Apparently Naruto's chakra was mixed with something she didn't even know. And it was these things that made Naruto's medical ninjutsu extremely wonderful. After a while, just when Naruto was sweating profusely from using medical ninjutsu, Xiao Li finally reacted. The next moment, I saw Xiao Li's injured body gradually regaining his ability to move. Seeing this scene, Teacher Kai on the side couldn't help but be ecstatic. Even Tsunade, who was treated together, felt incredible at this time. Teacher Kai, I feel the youth that explodes in my body. Am I okay? Xiao Li finally spoke, and at this time, Naruto finally fainted because chakra consumed too much. Seeing this, Tsunade directly supported him, and then treated him again. After another while, when Naruto opened his eyes, everyone finally breathed a sigh of relief. Naruto, great, you're finally awake, thank you. You consumed too much to treat me. Xiao Li looked at Naruto gratefully. Naruto was also happy to find out that Xiao Li had healed at this time. Hey, it's all my own people, don't be so polite. By the way, Xiao Li, let's fight, let me feel your hot youth and vitality. Naruto joked with Xiao Li, and Xiaoli also regarded Naruto as his best friend at this time. Not only because Naruto saved him, but also because Naruto recognized his blood and youth, which was the most important thing. Naruto-kun, arigatou. Quote, Xiaoli bent down directly as he spoke, bowed 90 degrees, and burst into tears at the same time. Seeing this scene, everyone in the room laughed. Tsunade, who is the 5th generation Hokage, sees the hope of Konoha village from them. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.